the lies that have been told for years, like I said. But Liz, is there anything that you would like to add in as well?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Zoe. First off, if anyone can hear me that knows this, if we have the Wi-Fi here, cameraman or headquarters, otherwise we're going to have to go find it. Our phones are not working, so apologies if you're trying to get a hold of us. But I do want to say Right Side Broadcasting Network, just a friendly reminder, we are almost entirely viewer funded, and our goal is to get to every single rally leading up to the presidential election. You guys have made this possible since before 2016. It has been an incredible journey, and we are just now buckling up for the ride of a lifetime. So if you're willing to donate and able, please do. There's a number of ways you can do that. The first one is the simplest. It's the YouTube Super Chat. Keep in mind they're all relatively easy, but it's the YouTube Super Chat. So if you're on YouTube, you have an account, they're free. Make sure you're utilizing the live chat to begin with. It's a little chat room online. It's a lot of fun. I say little, it gets to like 100,000 people. It's actually super lit. But make sure you click that $ in the bottom right-hand corner and you'll be able to donate absolutely any amount. That name comes up highlighted. As soon as we get Wi-Fi, we are going to be able to start giving shout-outs. The second way is by going to our website. Our website is www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. Again, that's www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. It's a really well-run website. That is a tongue twister. I am not going to try and say that again. Really well-run website. Okay. Joe Seals takes care of it, so lots of different updates on there. Our streams, of course, the donation page, and RSB and information. You can check it out all there, rsbnetwork.com. Third way is by sending a check to 1550 Opelika Road. That's Opelika, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. Just to reiterate, those three ways to help us financially are the YouTube Super Chat, donating via our website, or by sending a check. That is the only non-electronic form of donation. So we thank you guys who are donating to us, keeping us going. This is very expensive but very fun. We actually are going to be driving. Zoe will be driving starting at 4:30 a.m. Grace and I and cameraman will be sleeping. And then we are going to be going straight to Pennsylvania. So, sorry, we got some conversations going on. But again, it was straight to Pennsylvania. We have a 10:30 preset, and then we're going to have a whole nother rally by President Trump. So another busy day for Right Side Broadcasting Network. And we appreciate your donations and for allowing you guys to help us get there to cover President Trump's speeches and to just broadcast them out to absolutely millions of people. It's unbelievable. And it's definitely making a change. We're confident made a change in 2016, but just to see the growth in those 4 very short years, every single rally we go to, somebody who wants to say hey, and a lot of people want to say thank you for what we're doing and being the only service that provides these rallies. Otherwise, I just had a conversation with a viewer. He said, if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't know what was going on. I said, me either. As involved as I am in politics, like if there's a rally going on, there's really not another consistent source. It's only Right Side Broadcasting. So it's a really great company. We encourage you to help support us, and hopefully you enjoy the product. A few more things. Again, President Trump is scheduled to speak at 9 p.m. today, but he also had a really busy day. So President Trump started his day around noon in Atlanta at a Black Voices for Trump coalition speech. It was really incredible. Herschel Walker actually introduced him, and just all of it was very empowering and moving. If you were not able to catch that live, you can go back on our YouTube channel and check it out. It is definitely worth rewatching. Also, he introduced the Platinum Plan, which is what's going to help really Black communities and different minority communities across the United States that he plans to sign into legislation as soon as he possibly can. I'll get more information on the depth of that right now. It was just announced today, so I'm not that familiar with it, but there seemed to be so much applause and just happiness in the audience, so it really was great to see. Then he hopped back on Air Force One and went straight to Miami, where he had a roundtable event with Latinos for Trump. We were able to catch a couple of those testimonies by different immigrants that were there to support President Trump and say thank you and talk about how his policies have impacted their lives in a positive manner. And it was very moving, very touching. President Trump seemed to enjoy it as well, and then hopped back over to D.C. and now he's coming to Virginia. So I thought we had busy lives, but the 73-year-old has us beat. So it's a pleasure trying to keep up with him, and it's quite a journey and a challenge, but we love it. So thank you guys. I'm going to toss it back to Zoe and Grace for a little bit.
Thank you, Liz. So yes, as you all can see, our president is busy, busy, busy. And like I said, it's encouraging for me. Like if he can do it, then for sure we can do it. And so yeah, we will be heading to Middletown, Pennsylvania tomorrow for his rally. That will be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe. Sorry, 7 p.m. Thank you. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So with the amount of energy that he has, I mean, it just kind of, like I keep saying encouraging, but it's like when you see this, that you see this man who's a president who has a lot on his plate already, and even for his re-election period, he's traveling the country, coming here, bringing the people exactly what they need. So looking at Joe Biden, he hasn't really shown any enthusiasm, any effort to connect with the people, the very same people that they are trying to get to vote for them and their values and their views. But there are a lot of silent supporters of President Trump. And even traveling, I ran into this lady just recently at the airport, and she was telling me, like, I wear my Trump 2020 mask in the airport, but she was saying, hey, I appreciate you doing this, because not a lot of us are able to sorry, it's giving us directions, but not a lot of us are able to be open about our support for our president because of the ostracism and all the negativity that seems that the left are constantly pressing upon the free thinkers and conservatives. So she just going back to, she just said that thank you for showing your support out loud and open and fearless and unapologetic. And I believe 100% if you cannot show your support out in the open, there's no problem with showing your support in other ways, donating, supporting those who are involved in speaking out and with their platforms, even that being a social media influencer, dedicating our platforms for this election and getting the truth out there. It's really important for us, especially younger people like ourselves, Grace and I and Liz, but it's really important for us to use our voice. And it's not a lot of us. Yeah, so Grace has a question for me. Here you are.
So I get this question from people all the time, and so I'm always thinking about it, especially when I come to Trump rallies and stuff. People want to know how can they show support without putting themselves in danger? Without putting themselves into danger. Like they want to be publicly pro-Trump, but they want to hide from the backlash. So what would you recommend to those people?
So for that, I would say, of course, you cannot, you never know when you run into the wrong person that's going to end up doing something ridiculous, just because they don't like what you stand for, what you believe. But I tell people all the time, just, God will protect you, first of all. Pray and, keep yourself prayed up, because right now, the time that we're living in is getting really serious. People are being attacked. Even I live in Alabama, and I put a Trump sticker on my car, and I just went to park at work, and, I come back out, and it's gone. So it's even with that, in any form, any way of any type of negative responses, you just have to pray, and you have to just be smart and exactly just stay away from those type of people that you may feel will attack you just because of something that you believe in that they may not agree with. So but yeah, I mean, I've growing up, I've gone through it. We used to stand outside abortion clinics, and we used to try to talk to the girls about their decision, and even with that, we would experience negative reactions, people aggressively trying to attack us because they didn't like what we were standing for. But it's sad. I mean, it's going to happen. So it looks like they are going to, okay, sounds like we're going to be led with a prayer.
Virginia, are you ready? We know that we've been waiting for this moment, just like the song said, but we've been waiting because we are about to elect President Donald Trump again for 4 more years. Now, let me tell you something. Before I pray, you have to understand that the enemy is hating right now. He's hating because we are a sea of people who don't care about color. We care about being an American. So the person sitting next to you, as we pray, you're going to have to connect your spirit to their spirit. You're going to have to understand that the American spirit will not be broken. We will not give this nation over to socialism. We will not give this nation over to racism. We will not give this nation over to murder and violence and poverty. This nation belongs to God. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. President Donald Trump coming to Virginia is a signal. It's a sign that there is a shift in the atmosphere. A wave is about to hit Virginia, and Virginia is about to turn red again. So let us begin to pray. Every person, my sweetie pie Maria is right over there. I love you so much. My precious wife. Hi, Maria. If I didn't say that, I would have lost 50 points tonight, okay? Let's pray. Father God, tonight is the night. You sent this man, Trump, to be a signal and a sign that this nation will never fall prey to the enemies of socialism. You sent this man, Trump, to be a signal that this nation will not fall prey to racism. You sent this man, Trump, so that this nation will be the greatest nation of all time. And we need you now, Lord, to send your Holy Spirit. Anoint this man tonight. Pour out your presence on this place. Let every heart and every soul and every mind be convinced tonight that the devil is under our feet and Jesus is Lord. Father, we thank you that you will allow America to feel a fresh wind and a fresh fire like never before across this nation. From east to west, from north to south, you will allow, oh God, us to be an America again that will rise to the occasion and say we will never fall prey or victims to the enemy of socialism, communism, Marxism, and any other thing that will try to divide us. Father, we thank you now that you will fill this place now with your glory. Let President Donald Trump know that Virginia is ready for him to be the next president of the United States again for 4 more years. Now, Lord, we know what we've been through with COVID-19. So, Father, we ask for an anointing, oh God, to refresh this America and drive this virus off to the coast, send it back where it came from, and heal this land. Because you said, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves, turn from their wicked ways, seek my face, and pray that you would hear from heaven, forgive our sins, and heal our land. We thank you for it now. Bless everyone here. Lord, cover President Trump under this anointing. Protect his family. his wife, his children, grandchildren, and everything that he has to do. Cover that airplane when it lands, oh God. Let there be angels under the wings, over the wings, on the engine, in the cockpit, on the back. Oh God, cover him now under your precious blood and care. And when we leave here tonight, we will have a clear indication that not only will we win, because winning is what we're used to, but we will know that our president paved the way again for America to be saved and not to fall under any enemy who wishes to take us over. So God bless President Trump, bless America, and bless Virginia. In Jesus' name we do pray. Everyone say amen. Say amen. One more time, say amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as Mr. Rich Anderson, Chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia and retired Air Force officer, leads us in today's Pledge of Allegiance.
My fellow Virginians, we gather in this place at this time near the very founding of America at the Jamestown colony to celebrate liberty and to celebrate the forthcoming re-election of President Donald J. Trump as the 45th President of the United States of America. Brother Leon, you preached it. Thank you, my brother. Leon Benjamin is representative of the great congressional candidates for the United States Senate and the United States House of Representatives who are here with us tonight. And they are the reason that we are going to astound the nation by midnight on November the 3rd. And so it is my high honor and privilege to chair this great Republican Party, leading our great Republican citizens in the greatest commonwealth, in the greatest nation the world has ever known. And so I would ask you to place your hand on your heart, and if you have worn the cloth of the country, to render a hand salute and join me in facing the colors at my back and rendering the honors to those flags with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Virginians, let's fight and win!
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as Miss Kathy Williams leads us in the national anthem.
No kneeling here. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage John Fredericks, radio host and chairman of Virginia's national delegation.
What a fantastic crowd we've got tonight. Give yourself a hand. Hey, mobs, this is the real political revolution right here. Boy, they're shaking in Wilmington tonight. New polls are coming in. I got a news flash for everybody. Trump is going to win again. Only bigger. We pulled ahead in Florida. We pulled ahead in Pennsylvania, North Carolina. We're going to win Minnesota. We're going to carry Wisconsin. We're within striking distance of Michigan. And guess what else we're going to win? We're going to win Virginia. Oh, they're shaking tonight. They have nothing. They're looking at these poll numbers. So what did they try to do? Ralph Northam and the Virginia Democrats, last minute, they tried to shut us down. They waited until the polls came out, show us surging. They have no plan. Nobody knocks on doors, no campaign, and now they try to shut us down. Well, I got a news flash for them. Who's woke now? We got to give a shout out to Trump, Virginia team victory. They've done a phenomenal job. Let me tell you what we've done with that team here in Virginia, just to give you a little context. They've trained 6,000 Trump volunteers in Virginia. 6,000. They've contacted over 2 million registered voters to get them out for President Trump. They've knocked on over 320,000 doors for the president. You know how many doors the Biden camp has knocked on? 0! So they tried to shut us down, yet when the mobs come and burn down Richmond by the thousands, they encourage them to come. Yet they try to shut us down. I got a message for Eileen Fillercorn and Caucus of the Corn. We're coming. We're coming. This army we have here tonight, we're coming. Eileen, your days are numbered. You tonight are the reason why we're going to win Virginia. You're the deplorables. They mock you. They make fun of you. They don't want you. And you're going to carry the state for President Trump. On November 3rd at midnight, you and I and everyone here, we are going to shock the world when Donald Trump carries our electoral votes in Virginia, and this race is done. Because of you. Let's do it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Delegate Nick Freitas, congressional candidate for Virginia's 7th Congressional District and retired U.S. Army Special Forces.
How you doing, Virginia? I'll tell you what, I have the honor to be the Republican candidate for the Virginia 7th District. And when people ask you, what's it going to be like to run with Trump? I said it's going to be outstanding. Because he has a record we can actually be proud of. He has a record of increasing jobs, lowering taxes, lowering regulations. He has a record of the most comprehensive criminal justice reform we've seen in a generation. He has a record of peace in the Middle East. Democrats can't even get peace in their own cities. But we have arrived at that moment. I remember the first time I recognized it. I was serving my second tour in Iraq with 1st Special Forces Group. And I remember being overseas, watching as the Democratic Party ran on a platform of wanting to fundamentally change our country. I want you to imagine what it was like to be a service member, away from your family, with your friends, out there fighting for this country, to hear the Democratic Party say that they wanted to fundamentally change it. I can tell you right now, our history is not perfect, no country's is. But the problem has never been with our fundamentals. It has never been with the principles upon which we have been founded. And I will tell you, they're not so subtle about what they want anymore. I entertained the idea for a while that I could get out of the service, that I could get engaged, and that I could make the argument on why these principles of individual liberty, of private property rights, of being free to be in control of your life were something worth defending and protecting. And you know what I was called? The same thing you were all called. You're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a sexist. They don't want to engage in debate because they can't, but I have news for them. You want to know about the party of racism, sexism, bigotry? Last time I checked, it wasn't our party that was the party of slavery. It wasn't our party that fought against women's suffrage. It wasn't our party that locked up Japanese Americans in concentration camps. It wasn't our party of the party of segregation, and it was not our party that did Jim Crow. That was the Democrat Party. And they may say they have changed. They may say they have changed, but here's what I've seen. The problem with the Democratic Party now is not that it's liberal, it's that it's authoritarian. And you see it every single day. Do what they say or they'll shut down your business. Do what they say or they'll shut down your church. Do what they say or they'll stack the court. Do what they say or they'll impeach you. Do what they say or they will let the mob run rampant. They're not interested in unity. They're interested in obedience. Well, I've got news for them. This country was not founded by people that cower under threats and coercion and extortion. We come from better stock, and this is our moment to prove it. This is our opportunity. Don't look at what's going on out there and see fear. Don't see threats. You look at it as our opportunity to stand up and prove that we are worthy of every generation that came before us, every generation that bled, that sacrificed, that built something. This is our chance that we're worthy of them. And I'll leave you with this, because I know most of us that are here, we don't love politics. We love our country. But we do have a choice to make, and it is very simple. We are either going to fight for the country that we love, for the liberty that we cherish, or we are going to allow it to be stolen from us. So here's what you need to do. Here's what we all need to do. You find whatever it is that motivates you in that moment when you are tempted to think that you have done enough, when you are tempted to think that you have fought enough. You remember that, and I'll tell you what it is for me. It is watching children of friends of mine that did not come home carry a folded flag that represented their father. And I will tell you this, he didn't lose his life. He gave it. He gave it for this country. And whenever I'm tired, I think on that moment, I think on that picture in my mind, and I remember that I have a debt that is not paid. And I don't look at that debt as a burden. I look at it as an opportunity because his children deserve to grow up in a country worthy of his sacrifice. And I go to see that they have it. Will you come with me? Will you come with this president? Then Godspeed, dear President LeBaron, and we will see you at the finish line.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Honorable Scott Taylor, congressional candidate for Virginia's 7th Congressional District and retired U.S. Navy SEAL.
Good evening. Oh, we can do a lot better than that, Virginia. Good evening. Say cheese. Take the seat back. That's right. Take it back. Take it back. It is such a huge honor for me to be here with Patriots. Let me tell you something. A couple of days ago, I was trying to think about what am I going to say? And I went down to the beach in front of the beautiful Chesapeake Bay for a nice workout on the sand. And I sat there and thought, and I looked up, and I saw this familiar flag that was flying, stuck on a piling out in the water. And then I heard a military helicopter fly by. I could hear gunshots at Little Creek Amphibious Base range. I saw a Navy ship leaving out to sea, and I saw a Coast Guard cutter coming in. Damn, I love the smell of America in the morning. We are here tonight to send a message. And we're going to be really loud about our message. We have lying liberals like Elaine Loria who they faked into a moderate 2 years ago. But you know, after 2 years of voting with Nancy Pelosi 90% of the time, you know, after her voting to go against law enforcement, you know, with her voting to spend $5 million of our taxpayer dollars for her personal expenses and campaign funds to run those nasty attack ads, you know she's not who she said she was. And this is what they've done across the country. But we're going to take it back. We know that Elaine Loria and Nancy Pelosi and the rest of the elected Democrats were silent when our businesses were burning. We're silent when there was lawlessness in the streets. We're silent when that American flag was ordered to be taken down off the Capitol grounds one day before Independence Day because it was a target for protesters. Now, throughout our American history, people have literally died holding up that American flag, and it's something that I would proudly do again. I will always stand for our flag. USA! We reject the calls to defund the police. We reject Elaine Loria and Biden's calls to raise our taxes. We reject the lawlessness in our cities because we understand that without law and order, you can't have justice, you can't have equality. But I submit to you, Patriots, it's not enough for us just to reject. I want my son Sterling. I want my mama. I want all of you to know that I stand for something, and so do you. We stand for our Second Amendment rights because we know in America, if our government isn't protecting people and properties and business, that we have the God-given right to the Second Amendment to protect ourselves. And it's not for the best case scenario, it's for the worst case scenario. It's for those single mothers who might live in violence-prone areas, who are watching Ralph Northam and the Democrats not protect their families and their people. And then they're watching cities like Richmond and Norfolk trying to do it to ban guns in public places during protests. We stand for law enforcement. We stand for those men and women in uniform who are black and brown and gay and straight and Republican and Democrats because they put their lives on the line for us. And we stand with President Trump. Now, I know the president, in the elite's mind, in many of the media's mind, in Hollywood's mind, he's not what a president looks like or says or is supposed to be, but he's exactly what we want. I've been with the president receiving a dignified transfer of the body of my brother Ryan Owens in Dover Air Force Base. I've watched him stand up to China. I don't have any confidence that the Democrats will stand up to China. Hell, Elaine Luria has got hundreds of thousands of dollars of personal money invested in Chinese companies. She's not standing up to China. I stood with this president. I stood there in Jerusalem. I was there at the U.S. Embassy opening because that's our policy in the Holy Land. That's where that embassy goes. And you know what the Jerusalem Post said? The front page of the paper said this: promises made, promises kept. And I'll leave you with this with the president. I want you to think about really quickly. I want you to think about throughout history what presidents we revere of both parties. Name some: Reagan, Lincoln, JFK, TDR, FDR. All these presidents, everyone I just named, that we revere throughout history, every single one of them, in their time, were highly controversial. Hell, a lot of them got shot. But every single one of them led this country through a transformative time to a more positive path in our nation's history, and so will Donald J. Trump. So I submit to you 4 more years, 4 more years, 4 more years. In a couple of weeks, a few weeks, we got some choosing to do. We got to choose freedom over socialism. We've got to choose law and order over lawlessness. We got to choose making sure our families, our property, their businesses are protected. We're not choosing vandalism and violence in the streets, and we will choose Donald J. Trump for 4 more years. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless these United States.
Am I good? Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. I'm one of your hostesses for the evening. My name's Liz Willis, and we are thrilled to be bringing you President Trump's rally live from Newport News, Virginia. If you've been watching the news lately like we have, there's a lot of craziness going on, and you might have seen Many innocent people falling victim to crime, intimidation, and are being forced to fend for themselves because Democrats and the left are successfully defunding the police. When the government can't or won't protect your family, self-defense is the only option. Most of us, especially right now, don't have the time to consistently train, and let's face it, ammo is very expensive. This is exactly why iTarget Pro was invented. Using their proprietary app and laser bullet, you can now train safely in the convenience of your own home with your actual firearm. iTarget comes in all major calibers, including 2.23 and 5.56, so you can stay sharp with almost any firearm. Today, you can get 10% off plus free shipping with the offer code SAVE10. That's SAVE10. This is the smartest way for you to practice, and it pays for itself in just a few days. That's the letter I, targetpro.com. Again, the letter I, targetpro.com. You can use code offer SAVE10, that's SAVE10, at the end where you type in your payment method. This is going to be the perfect Christmas gift. Make sure that you sign in right now. Cameraman, while y'all are checking out, we have some people right now that are trying to wave and get the camera's attention. So we're going to pan to you guys really quick. Up towards the front. Say hello to whoever's watching back home. I can see they're on the phone smiling from ear to ear, probably talking to some family members. But we love to see it and get the crowd excited. So thanks to everyone watching. It's great to see smiling and familiar faces in the audience. Again, this is Right Side Broadcasting Network. Looks like we have a lot of viewers, and some of you might be new here today joining us. I'm Liz. I've been with Right Side Broadcasting for 4 years now, covering President Trump's rallies. This is something, it's our niche, something we love to do. We do not miss a rally unless it's absolutely physically impossible. However, we don't take no for an answer very often, so I think that's only been the case once when they were like back to back next to each other. We have an incredible journey, an incredible election and campaign trail to follow coming up, I believe, the next 39 days. So we are going to be hopping all over the United States, and we're very excited. We're working on building our teams, making sure that our talent is ready, and making sure all our equipment is up to date, charged, high enough technology to compete with the mainstream media. You're fine. I'll call you all over in a minute. But, so, yeah, sorry, I was talking to my coworkers. Again, we're totally live, unscripted all the time. So we do kind of do our own producing back here. It's not a flawless execution, but it's kind of the way that we've developed this to make it seem as if the majority of y'all are here with us, watching the rally for yourselves. It's something that our CEO realized back in 2015. He would hear President Trump talking about his rallies and these large crowds, but there was nowhere he could go, no consistent source that would show the crowds or really give you that full experience from start to finish. So that's what we aim to do here. It's what we strive to do at Right Side Broadcasting Network. You've probably seen the camera moving a good bit today. It's not always our faces. A lot of times you get the crowd, you get the pre-speakers, and when someone is on that stage talking, we do not talk. We want to give you the pre-speakers, especially when it comes to local and state politics. It's very important for us to get their message out as well. If you want to see more of it, it's helpful to you to stay informed as a citizen, then please consider donating. Meaning we rely on your donations to keep us in business. Literally, to get to the next rally, the donations from today are what's going to get us there. So we do thank you to everyone who's already contributed this point, and that we have so much name recognition and this small business, although it's still very small. We keep a very tight core group of talent and employees, not technically employees. But anyways, it's a small group of people that puts on a huge production. So it's a lot of work, each of us wearing the hats of 10 people. Cameraman's laughing at me, but it's fine. So your donations make that happen. If you'd like to donate, please consider doing so. There's a number of ways you can contribute to us, and I will explain those right now. The first way is one of the easiest ways, and that's by donating via YouTube. YouTube is a lot of fun because it has Super Chat, which is available when a video is live, which is exactly what we are right now. We're completely live, as you can tell. So if you see the live chat up on your screen and you're on Right Side Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, then you can click the $ sign and donate absolutely any amount. In just a moment, I'm going to find my Wi-Fi password and get in there, and I'm going to try and throw some shout outs to some of y'all. The second way you can donate is by going to our website. That's www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. Again, that's www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. It will take you through PayPal. You can use a debit or a credit card. Either of those ways, it is a tried, true, and trusted source, so you don't have to worry about anything bad happening. However, if you're still scared about putting your financial information out there on the interwebs, I don't blame you. There's a non-electronic form of payment that you can send, and that is the good old-fashioned check. So you can send a check to 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. Moderators, Mod Mom, thank you all for being here today and keeping that chat room fun, clean, and family-friendly for all of us. If you don't mind, additionally to all your hard work, just dropping some of those links down below, as well as the iTarget Pro link. They are an incredible company, and I encourage you all to run and make sure you use that code today. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about donations and iTarget Pro throughout the night, but I wanted to get some of that cleared up as we move on. I can't believe the time is already flying by. We did get some information really specific to Virginia that I wanted to share with y'all on what President Trump has done for the great state of Virginia and how his policies has impacted the people here. As President Trump peacefully protests with supporters in Newport News, the evidence shows his whole of government response to the coronavirus and how it's helped Virginia families and workers. President Trump fought to give the people of Virginia the resources and help they need to combat this virus. The President's Paycheck Protection Program, also known as PPP, provided over $12.5 billion worth of loans to more than 114,000 Virginia businesses and saved 1 million jobs. Nearly 4 million Virginians received economic impact payments totaling over $6.7 billion in relief. The CARES Act is providing Virginia with up to $3.3 billion in assistance to deal with the outbreak and more than $814 million so far in relief to 6,271 healthcare providers in the state. Virginia businesses are poised for a historic comeback thanks to President Trump's timeout. Y'all are distracting me. Hold on. Virginia added more than 161,300 new jobs in the first 3 years of the Trump administration, including more than 7,800 new manufacturing jobs. In February, Virginia's unemployment rate was just 2.6%. During the Obama-Biden administration, the average unemployment rate in Virginia was 5.7%. President Trump's historic Tax Cuts and Jobs Act is projected to create 32,000 new Virginia jobs over the next decade. The law also designated 212 Virginia communities as opportunity zones, which will drive new private investment into distressed and predominantly minority communities. President Trump kept his promise to negotiate America First trade deals, providing a massive boost to Virginia's economy. The President's United States-Mexico-Canada agreement, also known as USMCA trade deal, will boost Virginia's economy and create new jobs in the state, which exports $4.3 billion worth of goods to Canada and Mexico each year. Trade with Canada and Mexico support nearly 33,000 jobs within this state. The USMCA will boost Virginia's agricultural exports, helping the state's farmers and agriculture workers. President Trump is defunding Virginia farmers and agricultural producers from China by providing more than $72 million in direct USDA payments to offset the damage of Chinese tariffs. But Joe Biden's disastrous agenda will decimate Virginia's recovering economy and undo President Trump's policies that help Virginians the most. The terrible trade deals that Joe Biden supported throughout his 44 years in office has killed Virginia jobs. Virginia lost 13,100 jobs due to higher trade deficits with Mexico under NAFTA. Virginia lost 134,700 manufacturing jobs between when NAFTA took effect in '94 and when President Trump was elected. Biden voted to normalize trade regulations with China, which killed 66,200 Virginia jobs due to higher trade deficits. Biden's radical energy policies would devastate Virginia workers and businesses. The oil, natural gas, and coal industries support more than 148,000 Virginia jobs and contribute more than $14 billion to the state's economy each year. Biden's government-run health care proposal endangers the private health insurance that 4.9 million Virginians rely on. Biden's government-run public option plan would ultimately kill private health insurance plans. Under Biden's government-run public option plan, 10 of Virginia's rural hospitals would be at high risk of closing, and this would put patients' access to care as very limited. Meanwhile, President Trump is fighting to give Virginians the best health care in the world at a lower price. The average Obamacare premium in Virginia decreased 2.6% over the last 2 years. Incredible work and accomplishments under President Trump's administration regarding the great state of Virginia. Again, all of those statistics were specific to Virginia. Thank you for bearing with me. Again, no teleprompter here. My girls are over here. I'm going to pull them back up in a minute while I look for... He's going to help me out get the Wi-Fi. While I'm pulling that up, I'm going to toss the microphone over to Zoe and Grace. Again, I'm Liz Willis. You can follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Liz Willis, LIZWILLIS. Don't forget to follow Right Side Broadcasting as well at RSB Network on Instagram and Twitter. It's the same handle. And make sure you give this YouTube video a big like, and don't forget to subscribe. Back to you, ladies.
Thank you, Liz. So Grace and I were just on the side here talking and kind of admiring all that President Trump has been doing since he's been elected president. So one of the things that we were focusing on is like what we were talking about earlier, the abortion issue, but just to kind of elaborate on that in our own personal lives. Like, you know, I mentioned how like when I was younger, we used to go out and, you know, stand in front of the abortion clinics, and we would have the conversations with the girls that would go in and, you know, try to be there as a support, you know, give them an alternative way. But like I said, like we were talking about these things, and even in our own lives, like we're passionate about speaking out when we can, using our platforms. I mentioned earlier about being a social media influencer, but it's a great opportunity to reach a lot of people, you know, all over the world, really. But Grace here, she just started what is called Republican Girl, and it's kind of like you'll elaborate more, but it's kind of like an outlet for young conservatives to kind of, you know, be informed about policy and such like that. So Grace, if you care to elaborate to our viewers.
Yeah. So I started my own business, if you will. It's called The Republican Girl, and what I do on that is I make resources for young women, or really any conservative girl who wants to talk more about their views and maybe isn't so confident in doing so yet, or they just need the facts to back it up. Because one thing that obviously makes everybody's argument stronger is when you have the statistics and the knowledge to back it up, besides your own personal story and your emotions, and all those things are great too, but you need to sound educated when you're talking to other people about politics. It's so important. So that's why I started The Republican Girl, and you guys can find it on Instagram and Facebook right now. And I also have a website, and it's a blog, but it's all The Republican Girl, republicangirl.com. And yeah, so that's my new platform, and I'm very excited to be sharing more about the pro-life issue and all conservative issues. So. Yeah,
exactly. Not only are they conservative issues, but there are also issues on the Democratic side as well. But so not only that, but even myself, I've been working at home on some projects. Actually, Grace and I met through Turning Point. She's also an ambassador as well as Liz, and we've been able to travel around, go to these conferences, and hear from people like Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, you know, all of these amazing figures, you know, and it's kind of encouraging for us to see these leaders out there using their voice and their, like I said, platform, and you being inspired, starting your own organization to reach out to young girls, our peers. So yeah, it's definitely really important to use your voice, to speak out, to stand up for what you believe, and not be afraid.
There's not enough of us. We need more and more people to speak out as much as possible. It's not enough to just stay quiet anymore. You need to tell your friends how you feel, because I guarantee they all agree with you on something conservative and they just don't know it. That's what I find. I feel like we all have more in common than we realize, and it's just about vocalizing it. So.
And even you hear the phrase, you know, going around, they tell you not to talk about religion, politics, or even money, but like I have said before, these conversations should have been happening a long time ago. You know, this is why we have people today who are offended easily offended by something they may disagree with. America, the melting pot, the land of the free, land of liberty. We come from all over. We have so many ideas, beliefs, and if we are not able to sit down with each other and converse and, learn about, educating ourselves on the policies and such like that, you're going to have, like I said, the situation that you have now because no one's able to sit down and have a cordial conversation without getting nasty, without calling you names, without insulting your intelligence. So, and I like to say that on the Republican conservative side, you hardly will ever see that because we know what it means to be united, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help keep America united and keep the morals and the values established. And Democrats, the left, they're doing their best to try to destroy that. Going back to Marxism, destroying the order, the natural order, taking down the governmental infrastructures because they don't want order. They don't want to be disciplined. It's do whatever you like, do whatever makes you feel happy. But, there's a lot of things to talk about on that subject and many more. But it sounds like I'm looking over here to the side. It sounds like everyone's kind of getting hyped up and ready to hear from our president. So we're going to have the camera pan over right now.
Tell the media that they want 4 more years of President Donald Trump. So.
4 more years. That is what we're going for. And by the grace of God, this November, we will see that win.
4 more years. So.
Exactly. Like I said, by the grace of God. But it seems like I said, everyone seems pretty excited. We still have people flowing in from the back of the arena here. Kind of here in the front, everyone's filled in their seats. But I believe President Trump will be arriving by, I think, plane or helicopter or where? I'm not sure exactly, but I think he's going to. Yeah, maybe they'll set that up later. So kind of scouting out to see where President Trump will make his entry when it is time for him to come on and speak. He's always great with bringing a wonderful show and an energetic show at that for the people. And his entry is always exciting to see. So I'm really happy to be here, like I said, with Grace, who just recently joined on with Right Side Broadcasting Network. And of course, myself, I've been here. And this is not my first rodeo, but I'm really grateful for the opportunity that was given to be here and experience this. And, even when we look back in history, we'll remember these times that we were able to come out and support our president and bring to you all the opportunity to see him without having to be censored or by the mainstream media. But if you all are able to go to rallies, I encourage everyone to at least, he has a lot that he's going to be doing here soon again. So I encourage you guys, if you can, to go out, experience this for yourself. It's amazing. And just, people say there's power in numbers, but that is for sure. There is power in numbers. And of course, you see that here. You see the crowds that you've been seeing all throughout the week. President Trump traveling around and doing these rallies for the people, and like I said, the excitement that's been going on. So I'm really happy to see this. But Grace, is there anything that you would like to add? I know this is now your second rally. Okay.
Yes, this is my second campaign rally, and I am so happy to be here because every time I come, it's just there's so much energy from the crowd. These people are excited to reelect the president. There's no doubt in their minds that he's going to win, and there's no doubt in our minds either. Like Zoe was saying, go to a rally, you guys. It's just show up, because you will feel so much inspiration just from going, and you'll feel like you're involved in the movement even more than you already are. And hopefully it'll inspire your friends to go too, because like I said before, we need more people to speak out, and we need more people to talk about all the potential fraud that could happen potentially in the election. That's a huge threat. So
exactly, that's another thing that we're facing right now with the whole voting issue. Let's push for people to go out and vote, go to the polls, vote. Democrats are trying their hardest to take over this election. They've been trying since 2016, and honestly, almost all of their tactics have failed, and they already tried to attack Trump and with impeaching him, and it's just one thing after another. You never know what they have up their sleeve. But of course, looking at him, he is a person of strength, and he does not care. He's unapologetic, and he's going to continue with the mission, doing a great job at that as well. But I don't know. I'm just kind of like overwhelmed with the fact that, seeing where we are today and everything that's going on. All this time, I feel like my eyes have just been recently opened to what a lot of things that have been done in the dark, is being brought to light right now. So it's a lot of things that we're seeing that's taking place. I'm sure that justice will be served to those who were involved. And now I say criminal activity, these people who are rioting, who are causing mayhem and chaos, and mayors in these blue states, like when we were talking about earlier, these mayors in these blue states are not doing their job correctly. Oregon, looking at that is a mess, okay? And there's a lack of leadership, and by the fact that President Trump even has to go in and offer assistance for them to get their city in order, and then for them to deny it, and then for the mayor to go back and then criticize Trump, our president, and say that he's not about law and order and not trying to protect the people. No, it's not right, So it's crazy time. It's a crazy time that we're living in for sure. But yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of bad leadership, Trump is going to win Virginia in this election because their governor, Ralph Northam, is an extreme radical progressive. And he has already moved to repeal most of the pro-life laws in this state. Yeah, he's pro late-term abortion, and he also wants to ban guns. He wants to do a total gun grab. He wants to ban ammunition. And I think it was last year or early this year, he tried to ban all assault weapons. And the people here aren't having it. There's tons of armed patriots ready to go here. They are not going to have their guns taken away. And I think that's probably really woken a lot of people up since he was elected. And I think that's probably also why Trump is closing the gap between him and Biden. Just a couple months ago in the summer, Biden was up by, I think it was 12 points. And now he's only up by 5 points, according to the polls, which we don't even know if we can trust anyway, right? So for all we know, it could be Trump is up by 5 points over Biden. So I think we're going to see a big red wave here in Virginia, too.
And just to add to that, you're probably going to see a lot of other blue states turn red. Seeing everything that's going on, there's a lot of people. This is not being going unnoticed. There are a lot of people who are even changing their minds. And I even just recently met someone who was a Democrat or voted Democrat, and he just said, looking at how Democratic cities are in, and looking at all the problems that we're having now by liberal, these liberal candidates and politicians, it's not, people are starting to realize that this is not it, and people are starting to wake up and realize that they've been lied to, they have been deceived, mass manipulation. This is, the Democratic Party has done a great job with mass manipulation and trying to, convey and seem as if they're, for the people, but they're not really for the people. Yeah, exactly. Grace was saying they're masters of deception. Exactly that. And looking at Nancy Pelosi, how she, it's funny to see how the rules apply to everybody else. Yet you can go and have your hair appointment without wearing a mask, and then you want to turn around and badmouth that small business. We're supposed to be supporting small businesses, and people are already struggling enough as it is with this whole COVID-19 situation. So for her to do something like that and then not take the responsibility for it, even if she wanted to say that it was a mistake, even for her not to accept the responsibility and try to attack that woman, the owner of that hair salon and her business, is sad. It's sad. And even I saw an interview where the owner of the salon, she mentioned how, she's lived in California for years, and her business has thrived there. But considering what happened and all the negativity, the negative responses that she received and threats and such, she decided to pack up her business and move. And you're seeing a lot of people actually move away from California and some of these, like I said, blue states, because they're starting to notice where this is not it. This is not the American dream. This is not what America stands for. Okay, we don't want the rioting. We don't want the looting. We don't want the disorder. We want law and order, and that's what our President Trump is standing for, and he will continue standing for. No matter what happens. So, Grace, is like I said, there's a lot of things that we could talk about, all these issues, and I get very passionate sometimes when it comes to proclaiming the reason why I support our president. And I tell people, I just like with any other political candidate, you're not going to agree with everything they say or do. Okay, I'm not voting for the personality. I'm voting for the policy. So Grace, did you have anything you would like to add to that as well?
Yeah, I'll name all the reasons why I love President Trump. No, no, but I do pretty much love everything he does. There's not a single thing that a single executive order or legislation package or anything like that has not been for the American people. Everything he has done has been for us, not to line his pockets. It's not for the bureaucrats he works with. It's not for his party. He doesn't care about political alliances and making people happy. He's willing to do the hard work and do what's right for the American people. In fact, just yesterday, this is big news, but guess what? Nobody wants to report on it. He signed an executive order saying that the government cannot exclude people with pre-existing conditions from getting health care. So that is a huge deal, especially amid repealing Obamacare and going forward in pushing private policy on people and trying to get them to purchase private insurance and getting those people protected that need it. And he's also taking on big pharma in a huge way, and that's also not being reported. So that's one of my favorite things that he's done, just because it's so monumental that nobody else has been able to achieve, but also all the peace deals he's done recently. He's done 3 in a month with between Israel and normalizing relations with other Middle Eastern countries, and he also did the Born Alive bill, which we were talking about earlier. So I know pro-life is one of your favorite issues. So what do you think about that executive order?
Of course. So back to what Grace was saying. We were talking earlier about the Born Alive bill and how that is it's so important to stand for the unborn, for those who do not have a voice yet. People try to desensitize themselves and say, oh, it's a fetus, it's this, and no, okay, it's life, and it's something that God placed in you, and it's not a pig, it's not an animal. This is a human being, and for you to say and try to justify the act of murder, and it's really sad. It just shows where we are in this nation. But for years, children have been targeted. We're talking about the sex trafficking issue right now. That is something that has been going on for the longest time. And people want to talk about slavery and how, black people have been enslaved for all these. Yes, I think humanity as a whole, we all have been enslaved in some form, in some way throughout history, even today in some way, but it's important for us to just be able to sit back and have a better perspective on everything that's going on, and be able to, come together with our thoughts and, like I said, educate ourselves on these policies, on these candidates and what they believe. Republican, Democratic, does not matter, because even with Republicans, and conservatives, you just have to kind of watch out and make sure that just because they have Republican or conservative, that they are truly that, a Republican and conservative. So you have we were talking about earlier how there are some there's really a lot of conservatives who voted for President Trump, but they are not pro-life, they are pro-choice. So it's, in this movement and in my growth in it, I've come to realize that, even in the conservative movement, you're going to have other people that you disagree with when it comes to certain things. But do I, unfriend you, or do I, decide to just continue my relationship with you just because I don't agree? No, I don't. But I just think it's important to stay united, stand with each other and just show support. So anyways, with all that, really excited to be here again with Grace and Liz and the whole team. And I'm ready to hear from our president tonight. Again, he will be speaking, if he's on schedule, at 9 p.m. tonight. So, going to try to get to the YouTube super chat to try to talk with you guys if it's working here. So.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi isn't that great on the super chats, but I think we're going to toss it back to our CEO, Joe.
Thanks, Grace. Thank you, Zoe. You ladies are doing a fantastic job tonight. As always, we are live in Newport News. The crowd is amazing here. We're going to show you some of that overflow in just a second. It is really unbelievable. Virginia is supposed to not be in play for the Republicans in 2020, but I have a feeling that it is. Same thing with Arizona. You look at the voter registration trends in Arizona, and you see that it is a whole lot closer than they're letting us believe. And I think that's the case all across the country. You see the Democrats everywhere they go are trying to cheat. And I mean, you saw the mail-in ballot thing and the ballots found in the ditch in Pennsylvania the other day. I think they know this is the only way that they can win. If this is a free and fair election, the president is going to win 40 states plus, maybe even more. That's just my opinion. I've seen the enthusiasm. I was here in 2016 with the Trump campaign, here in the studio, working with them. And I remember the enthusiasm level was off the charts in 2016. But I'm seeing that plus a little bit more now. I think that this election is so important. And I think that you have Democrats who are coming over to the Republican side because there are still some fair-minded Democrats left who absolutely are abhorred by what they're seeing happen in the big cities across America. And they may not like President Trump's tweets. They may not like everything about him, but they love America, and they're not going to allow this to happen in our country. That's, I think, going to be the difference between President Trump and Joe Biden in this election, is the left is not united. We are united on the right, and we're going to bring a lot of the Democrats who are reasonable and who love America. That's what I think. But I think President Trump is going to play well in Virginia and also Pennsylvania. We're going to be camped out in Pennsylvania. We may have a crew stationed in Pennsylvania. That's how much Pennsylvania means in this election. The Keystone State is a huge key to this election. If the president can win Pennsylvania, it's very unlikely that Joe Biden is going to win. So I want to remind everybody we'll be in Pennsylvania tomorrow night in Middletown, PA, just outside of Harrisburg tomorrow night. It's going to be an exciting night because President Trump's Supreme Court pick will be announced in the Rose Garden of the White House, 5 p.m. Eastern. You can watch that right here on RSBN. Most think it's going to be Amy Comey Barrett, and that we will transition over to our coverage of the campaign event in Middletown tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time start for that one. And then just announced we are going to be in Minnesota next Wednesday, Duluth, Minnesota next Wednesday, the day after the first presidential debate. So appreciate all of you. Please support us if possible. rsbnetwork.com/donate is the best way to do that because we are going to be so busy. We could do 50 or 60 of these things between now and November 3rd. You're about to see how much energy. Look at that overflow crowd. It's amazing. We'll send it back to Newport News here in just a second. Stand by.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. I'm your host today, one of them at least. My name is Liz Willis. That's Lizwillis. We have almost entirely full venue here today in Newport News, Virginia, where President Trump is scheduled to give his remarks in just under 1 hour. It looks like he is going to be on time today. He's about 50 minutes away right now. We're going to keep you updated on the press pool and what they have to say about his whereabouts. He's had an extremely busy day. We've talked about it. But it looks like we have a lot of new people who have jumped in to this live stream. We are so excited. Looks like we're killing it with numbers today. I have a goal. Our goal today is 120,000 YouTube viewers congruently. So hopefully you guys can help us get there. Make sure that you're liking this stream, commenting as much as you can. It sounds so silly, but in order for this stream, if you're unfamiliar with social media platforms and how they work, the more activity that something gets, the more that the algorithm will pick up on it and boost it up to other users on this platform via their Explore page and whatnot. So it'll be more suggested to more people if you guys are really interacting, viewing, watching, sharing, commenting. It all really helps out more than you have any idea. So please continue to do that. Again, we want to break 120,000. It is pretty crazy that we are here in Virginia, a state that is supposedly going to Biden. President Trump is not polling to win this state, but if you look around, once again, President Trump has a packed house. It's a chilly night today, but would you look at this crowd? It is unbelievable. It doesn't matter where he goes. This is going to be, it's going to be packed. I've yet to go somewhere that isn't. It's incredible. The energy, the excitement, the patriotism, the nationalism. There's so much to talk about here at a President Trump rally. And for a lot of people, this is in the multiples of rallies. They come to as many as they possibly can. They just cannot get enough of President Trump. It's truly remarkable. One of these things that a lot of people here support, something that Virginia is fighting hard for, as they should be, something that their government is actually trying to take away right now, is their Second Amendment rights. And you know what happens when you take away people's guns? Innocent people fall victim to crime. They fall victim to intimidation. And they're going to be forced to fend for themselves because the Democrats and the left just don't care about their rights. If the government can't or won't protect your family and you can't protect your family, what is left to do? You're going to have to make sure that you are as well prepared as possible with your firearms. You want to be sure that you can protect your family, and self-defense is the only option sometimes. Most of us don't have the time to consistently train, plus ammo can be really expensive. This is why iTarget Pro was invented. Using their proprietary app and laser bullet, you can now train safely in the convenience of your own home with your actual firearm. iTarget comes in all major calibers, including 2.23 and 5.56. So you can stay sharp with almost any firearm. Today, since iTarget Pro is partnering with Right Side Broadcasting Network for this rally, you can use code SAVE10 for 10% off plus free shipping. I absolutely love free shipping, so make sure you use this code within 24 hours. This is the smartest way for you to practice, and it pays for itself in just a few days. You guys, that's the letter I, targetpro.com. Again, itargetpro.com. Use offer code SAVE10. That's SAVE10. It is so cool. It's a bullet you put into your gun. It doesn't actually shoot out of the gun. It actually shoots a laser, which will hit a target. Your phone camera will register that onto an app, and it'll be able to tell you and calculate exactly how you're shooting, how far off, how accurate you are. So it is a great way to train yourself. It's also very safe, and it's a really cool Christmas gift idea. So you guys run, don't walk to that website, itargetpro.com. Use offer code SAVE10. I also want to say thank you to those who have donated so far. It looks like we have a lot of website donations coming through. For those who are asking, our website is www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. If you want to check that out. We have Kent Black, who commented and said, Virginia is for lovers of freedom. MAGA, 4 more years by the grace of God. Patrick McLaughlin said, excellent job. Keep up the good work. It looks like my phone is struggling to load right now. I want to read all of these wonderful shout outs. You guys, bear with me. We're going to try this one again. Okay, we reloaded, so we might be able to get some of these shout outs going. Again, I'm Liz. This is Right Side Broadcasting Network. We are here today. You can see this massive crowd, the energy here in Virginia for a state that's supposed to be blue, a state that voted for Hillary in 2016, and I think they're sick of it. They are sick of the left threatening their Second Amendment rights, most of all. It's ridiculous. President Trump will be here today to talk a lot about that in just 45 minutes. Air Force One is scheduled to land right behind us. It should be another beautiful evening. We have David McDougall, who said, thank you for your zeal. Thank you, Father, for your comments tonight. Gay Sullivan said, 4 more years, and God bless you and your family. Marsha Aquino said, thank you for covering President Trump's rallies. More power to Right Side Broadcasting, MAGA. Rita Bush said, your coverage is spot on with President Trump. Thanks for all you do. Susan Phillips-Jones said, great coverage as always. Thank you for all your hard work. You're doing an incredible job. Love being able to see the president speak. I'm hopping over to the YouTube Super Chat now, so hopefully some of you can join me. Let me see these numbers. Let's see what we're working with here. Again, my goal for today is 120,000. It looks like we've got 56,000. That's fine. I understand. I mean, that's a great number. POTUS hasn't even taken the stage yet, but You guys better help me double that when he does take the stage. This is the President of the United States. He has had such a busy day. It's truly been unbelievable. I'll talk to you a little bit more in depth about what he's done, especially when it comes to allocating $500 million to African Americans here in the United States to help lift up their economies. He actually started his day off in Atlanta, Georgia for African American Voices for Trump. So we're going to jump into that in just a second. Let me pull up some of those notes for you guys. It was a historic moment, and what he announced to the crowd was remarkable. He was brought on stage by none other than Georgia's own Herschel Walker. Oh, looks like we have lots of updates regarding the President Trump's whereabouts, so I'll get all into those. Sorry, I'm balancing like 10 things. I have so much information to get out to you guys. Mainstream media is not covering President Trump like they should, so basically we are the eyes and ears on the ground for President Trump's campaign, making sure y'all follow it the way it deserves. So again, President Trump released today the Platinum Plan for Black Americans: opportunity, security, prosperity, and fairness. And now I promise you guys, I'm going to read you some stuff really quick while we pan this crowd. You're not going to hear about this in the news. It's disgusting. It should infuriate you that the liberal elite, the mainstream news, the fake news, whatever you want to call it, want to paint conservatives as racist. However, when $500 million is allocated to the African American, I'm sorry, what was I thinking? 500 billion, yeah, that's with a B, is allocated for the African American community across the entire country. It's a huge deal. Money's not going to the Middle East anymore. It is staying here in America, and that's because of President Trump. Reading directly from this press release, building on his record of promises made, promises kept, President Donald J. Trump has released the Platinum Plan for Black America, which will uplift Black communities across the country through a $5 billion, with a B, dollar investment. $500 billion investment. Sorry, I never read numbers that large. It's insane. After years of neglect by Democrat politicians, Black Americans have finally found a true advocate in President Trump, who is working tirelessly to deliver greater opportunity, security, prosperity, and fairness to their communities.
Well, hello, Virginia. Congressman Rob Whitman, Republican Chairman Rich Anderson, my fellow Republicans, my fellow Americans, it is great to be back in the Old Dominion state. And we're just 39 days away from another great victory for the American people. But I'm here for one reason, and one reason only. And that is that Virginia and America need 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House. It's on, Virginia. And the road to victory runs right through the Tidewater. You know, 4 years ago, a movement was born. A movement of everyday Americans from every walk of life. Here in the Tidewater, you knew we could be strong again. You knew we could be prosperous again. All of you said yes to President Donald Trump in 2016, and I know that Virginia is going to say yes to 4 more years of President Donald Trump in 2020. And just think how far we've come.
4 years ago, we inherited a military that had been hollowed out by devastating budget cuts. An economy struggling to break out of the slowest recovery since the Great Depression. Terrorism was on the rise around the world, and we witnessed a steady assault on our most cherished values. But standing here, just miles from the largest naval base in the world, I'm proud to report to you, under President Donald Trump, we've rebuilt our military. We restored the arsenal of democracy. And this president signed the largest investment in our national defense since the days of Ronald Reagan, including the largest pay raise for our military. And close to home, Hampton Roads, under this president, saw 3 additional Navy ships stationed here, adding 25,000 military personnel, contractors, and their families to this community, bringing the economic impact of the Navy to more than $16 billion. But beyond the investment, I have to tell you, as the proud father of a United States Marine and the father-in-law of a pilot in the United States Navy, I couldn't be more proud to serve as vice president to a president who cares so deeply about the men and women of our armed forces. Under President Donald Trump, we are finally giving our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guard the resources and the support they deserve to accomplish their mission and defend this nation. We're doing it. And with that renewed American strength, we've taken the fight to radical Islamic terrorists on our terms, on their soil. Where Joe Biden and the last administration oversaw the reckless withdrawal of troops from Iraq, with ISIS capturing an area the size of Pennsylvania. Under our commander-in-chief, the armed forces of the United States captured the last inch of ISIS territory, crushed their caliphate, and took down their leader without one American casualty. And where Joe Biden sent pallets of cash to the mullahs in Iran, President Trump got us out of the Iran nuclear deal, gave the order to take down the world's most dangerous terrorist, and Qasem Soleimani is gone. So we've stood with those who serve, and we've stood with all of you who wore the uniform of the United States. When Joe Biden was vice president, America saw years of scandal at the VA that literally shocked the conscience of the nation. But under President Donald Trump, we signed the most sweeping reforms of the VA in 50 years. The VA now has a 90% approval rating, and Veterans Choice is now available to every veteran in America. And under this president, in our first 3 years, there's 3 more ways you can describe it. It was jobs, jobs, jobs. Where Joe Biden wants to raise taxes, our president cut taxes across the board. We rolled back federal red tape at a historic level, unleashed American energy, fought for free and fair trade, and in our first 3 years, businesses large and small created more than 7 million good-paying jobs, including 164,000 jobs right here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And you know, none of that would have been possible without the strong support of Republicans in Congress, like Congressman Rob Whitman and North Carolina's Congressman Greg Murphy. Thank you, man. But that's also, Rob will tell you, that's also why we need to send these congressmen back, and we need to send Scott Taylor and Nick Friatas to a new Republican majority on Capitol Hill. We need to retire Speaker Nancy Pelosi once and for all. The road to a Republican majority runs right through Virginia. It's true. So we've stood for our national defense. We've stood with our veterans and for jobs and opportunities. And President Donald Trump, every day of this administration, has stood for the rule of law. This president has appointed more than 200 conservative judges to our federal courts at every level, including Justice Neil Gorsuch and Justice Brett Kavanaugh. And I can tell you, I love it. I can tell you, those more than 200 federal judges are all men and women of integrity who will uphold all the God-given liberties enshrined in our Constitution, like the freedom of speech, the freedom of religion, and the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Now, this week, we mourn as a nation and honor the life of service of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But the Constitution of the United States provides that the President shall appoint judges to the Supreme Court. And I promise you, come this time tomorrow, President Donald Trump will do his duty, and we will nominate a principled conservative woman to the Supreme Court of the United States. And after the Senate fulfills their duty to advise and consent, we're going to fill that seat. So we've stood for the rule of law every day. And President Donald Trump has stood with the men and women who serve on the thin blue line of law enforcement, and we always will. The President and I know what all of you know. Men and women who serve in law enforcement are some of the best people in this country. And they deserve the respect of every American every day. Now, the President and I will always support the right of Americans to peaceful protest enshrined in the Constitution. But rioting and looting is not peaceful protest. Burning businesses is not free speech. Violence against law enforcement, like you saw in Virginia Beach this summer, will not be tolerated, and those who do these things will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Now, for months, all Joe Biden ever talked about was peaceful protesters. as the American people watch businesses in our communities literally burn. The truth is, Joe Biden would double down on the policies that have led to violence in America's cities. Now, Joe Biden says that America is systemically racist, and that law enforcement is, in his words, and I quote, has an implicit bias against minorities. When Joe Biden was asked whether he'd support cutting funding to law enforcement, he replied, yes, absolutely. But I'll make you a promise. Under President Donald Trump, we're going to back the blue. We're not going to defund the police, not now, not ever. We're going to have law and order in every city, in every state in this nation, for every American of every race and creed and color. So help us God. So we rebuilt our military. We revived our economy. We stood for our liberties in law and order. And in three short years, we made America great again. And then the coronavirus struck from China. But I'm proud to report to you, before the first documented case of community transmission within the United States even happened, President Donald Trump did what no American president had ever done. He suspended all travel from China, the second largest economy in the world, and saved American lives. Now, Joe Biden said that the president's action was, quote, hysterical and xenophobic. But as the leader of the White House Coronavirus Task Force, I can tell you firsthand, President Donald Trump's actions saved untold American lives, and it bought us invaluable time to stand up the largest national mobilization since World War II. We reinvented testing. We saw to the manufacture and delivery of hundreds of millions of medical supplies to doctors and nurses across the country. We've been developing medicines from the outset of this pandemic that are saving lives today. And we are on track, as I stand here today, to have the first safe and effective vaccine for coronavirus before the end of this year. That's what leadership looks like. So thanks to the cooperation of the American people, the extraordinary work of healthcare workers at every level, we're slowing the spread. We're protecting the vulnerable. We're saving lives. And we're opening up America again. In fact, because of the strong foundation that this president poured, because of the unprecedented support that he secured from the Congress, after losing 22 million jobs at the height of this pandemic, we've already seen 10.6 million Americans go back to work, including 188,000 people right here in Virginia. So we've gone through a time of testing. But in 39 days, we're coming to a time for choosing. And the choice in this election has never been clearer. And I think you all know the stakes have never been higher. I mean, think of this contrast. In the middle of a global pandemic, Joe Biden wants to raise taxes by $4 trillion. President Trump, he cut taxes across the board for working families and businesses, and we're going to keep cutting taxes for 4 more years. Joe Biden wants to bury our economy under an avalanche of red tape. He even got his own version of the Green New Deal. President Trump, he actually signed more laws cutting federal red tape than any president in American history, and we're going to keep on chopping for 4 more years. Joe Biden is for open borders, sanctuary cities, free lawyers and free health care for illegal immigrants. President Donald Trump has made record investments in border security, supported our Customs and Border Patrol and ICE, and we've already built more than 300 miles of a border wall on the southern border of the United States, and with 4 more years, we're going to build it all. No, we're building it. And when it comes to international trade, Joe Biden has been a cheerleader for communist China for decades. I mean, half of our international trade deficit when we took office was with China. We were losing $500 billion a year. And Joe Biden said that China wasn't even much competition for America. President Trump, he put China on notice on day one and said the era of economic surrender is over. We imposed tariffs and we will stand strong until China opens their markets and respects American private property and American workers. And when it comes to values, Joe Biden and the Democratic Party support late-term abortion. And Joe Biden supports using taxpayer dollars to pay for abortion all the way up to the moment of birth. And I can tell you from my heart, I couldn't be more proud to serve as vice president to a president who stands without apology for the sanctity of human life. President Donald Trump is the most pro-life president in American history. I mean, when you look at their agenda, it's clear. Joe Biden would be nothing more than a Trojan horse for the radical left. Now, Joe Biden said at their convention that democracy is on the ballot. Well, I believe that our economic recovery is on the ballot. I believe that law and order are on the ballot. But I also believe there are things much more foundational to this country that are on the ballot as well. I mean, I can honestly tell you, I think in this election, it's not going to be whether America ends up more conservative or more liberal, more Republican or more Democrat. I think the choice in this election is whether America remains America. Whether we're going to chart a course based on our highest ideals of freedom, free markets, personal responsibility, and our most cherished values, or whether we're going to take a turn to the radical left and transform America into something altogether different. So I want to say to all of you, for our freedom and all the ideals that have always made America great, we need to decide right here and right now that Joe Biden will never be president of the United States. We're going to re-elect President Donald Trump for 4 more years. I mean, think about it. 4 more years means more jobs. 4 more years means more judges. 4 more years means more support for our troops. And it's going to take at least 4 more years to drain that swamp. Oh, we're draining it. So my fellow Americans, get ready. Buckle up. It's on. We got a little more than 40 days to win 4 more years for President Donald Trump in the White House, so we need you to bring it. We need you to reach out to your neighbors and friends all across this Commonwealth and all the friends that you have all across this country. Bring this same enthusiasm. Keep voicing your support. Tell your neighbors and friends all that we've accomplished and what we can do with 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House. You made the difference in 2016, and the American people will make the difference again in 2020. You know, in all my travels across this country, from big cities to small towns, over the last 4 years, I can tell you firsthand, America is a freedom-loving nation. And America is a nation of faith. So as you go forth from here, and as you listen to my friend tonight, I want you to have faith. Have faith that the best days for America are ahead. Have faith and confidence that the American people, every time they've been presented a choice between a future of more freedom and less freedom, the American people choose freedom every single time. And lastly, if you're of a mind to bow the head or bend the knee from time to time in the next 39 days, I encourage you to do that too. In a time where it seems like there's more division in this country than any time in my lifetime, I'm absolutely convinced that if his people who are called by his name will humble themselves and pray, he'll do like he's always done in the long and storied history of this country. He'll hear from heaven and he'll heal this land. This one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So pray for America. It'll make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the feeling somebody just arrived. So I'm going to get out of the way, but I got to tell you, I've served alongside our president, shoulder to shoulder, for the last 4 years. And I can tell you, President Donald Trump is the real deal. He's a man who says what he means what he says. He never quits. He never backs down. And he has never stopped fighting to keep the promises that he made to the American people. Now it's our turn to fight for him. And I'm just absolutely convinced, if all of us do all that we need to do between now and November 3rd, with your continued support, with you giving voice to all that we've done and all that we have yet to do under this president's leadership, we're going to have a great American comeback. We're going to have a great American victory. We're going to make Virginia and America stronger and more prosperous than ever before. And with President Donald Trump in the White House for 4 more years, and with God's help, we're going to make America great again. Again. Thank you all very much. God bless Virginia, and God bless the United States of America.
Vice President of the United States Mike Pence making a special appearance. That was not expected. So the president has arrived in Newport News and will be there, be here on stage shortly. We appreciate all of you tuning in. Just a reminder, tomorrow evening, 5 p.m., we will have the Supreme Court Associate Justice announcement from President Trump in the Rose Garden. And then our crew, who is in Newport News now, is headed to Pennsylvania. They'll be in Middletown for a rally tomorrow night, or a peaceful protest, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to be busy. We are headed up to PA, and we may just stay up in PA for a while because we're going to be camped out there. It's so important, the Keystone State this year. Another event just announced right after the debate, the day after the debate, in Duluth, Minnesota. On September 30th, the president will be traveling there to Duluth, we do also expect that I can't confirm it, but there's a possibility there may be another event in Minnesota scheduled on the same day. We'll find out. I don't know. Have no information on that at all, except for what we have heard. But that could happen. Anyway, thank you all so much. We're working on getting a 360 of this crowd. It's absolutely amazing. You can see there that crowd goes all the way back into that hangar. There can't fit anybody else in there. This is a state Trump's not supposed to win, okay? Biden is supposed to have this locked away. And I just don't see it, because I was around in 2016, covered every one of these things back then, and the enthusiasm is at a level I haven't seen before. This is amazing. So we'll send it back to Newport News in a minute. I wanted to just take this time to thank all of you. Please share the broadcast. The president will be up shortly. We want to try to get to 120,000 viewers tonight on YouTube. Thanks so much for helping us beat the mainstream media. We beat Fox News the other night. We doubled them up, actually. So that was pretty cool. But we thank you all again. If you want to support us and help us get to these campaign events, we are viewer supported. I did that for a reason, so that we could control what we say on our own network. rsbnetwork.com/donate. You know, this is what we're built for. We're built for campaign season. And this is what we do. We played a major role in the 2016 election, over 300 million views. We show you what the mainstream media won't. President Trump, we help him bypass mainstream media. Fox News does not show these rallies in full anymore on cable. They don't. And we've been live now for, about 2.5 hours, and we'll be live until the president is finished. We don't interrupt him. We show you everything in its full context. Don't take anything, cut anything. We do that because we think you're smart enough to decide for yourself what to believe. So we show you the whole remarks and let you decide. That's all we do, and we appreciate you supporting us very much. We're going to go back live to Newport News now, where our correspondents are standing by. Liz Willis, Zoe Sozo, and... Yes, hold on just 1 second, please. Yes. Okay. So we're getting word here, so the president will be up to speak shortly. It looks like a 5-minute warning, but we're going to send it back to Zoe, Liz, and Grace in Newport News. Stand by. Okay. Go.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. We are so excited. We are less than 15 minutes away from President Trump, his scheduled time to take the stage here in Newport News, Virginia, where his rally is scheduled to begin at 9 p.m. We had the camera at 360 degrees just a minute ago, right behind us. I guess it's 180, but we're showing you 360. So that camera was right behind you guys, and what you're able to see is a steady stream of people at 8:47 p.m. still filling this hangar. It was marked off at capacity, and they're letting more people in, letting as many people see the president as possible. And as you saw just a minute ago, they are still piling in. It's remarkable. I mean, 360 degrees of people behind us. Everything I'm seeing right now to the sides of me, they are just here. They are so excited to support the President of the United States of America. Vice President Mike Pence just spoke, and it's really always a nice surprise when we see him. We don't get much of a heads up when Vice President Pence will be speaking. However, he did a great job, as always, very strong, a solid speaker. As a communications degree, I'm not going to say expert because y'all would rip me apart for that one, but as someone who studied communications, I really do enjoy watching him speak. He's a great pick for Vice President. Again, my name is Liz Willis. I've been with Right Side Broadcasting Network for 4 years now, covering all of President Trump's rallies. This is one of my first times in Virginia. I believe I've been to a lot of states, but for a state that is supposed to be blue, it seems like this might be Trump country. There is so much excitement tonight, and we can see it as well in the chat room. We have 84,000 people watching right now, so thank you for those who have tuned in. If you're not familiar with the Right Side Broadcasting Network, I'd love to really quickly talk you through what we do, who we are, and how you can help us. We're almost entirely viewer funded. We're a broadcast network that started in 2015 when our CEO thought people just aren't covering President Trump's rallies the way they should. Someone needs to get out there, take a little camera and just spin it, show the crowds. So we call it panning the crowds. That's what we like to do here today. We bring correspondents to talk you through it, and we want to answer any questions you may have, let you know what the campaign is doing. We know that the mainstream media and the fake news isn't giving it really a fair shake for the Trump campaign. I can see Air Force One coming right up. I don't think camera would be able to get that. It's pretty dark, but I can definitely hear those engines still going. She's taxiing down the runway, and you should be able to see her coming up in just a second. So she will be pulling up behind me in just a second. Again, we're almost entirely viewer funded. We do travel the country to bring you these rallies. So if you'd like to donate to us to help us keep going, there's a number of ways you can do that. Click that $ in the bottom right-hand corner of the YouTube Super Chat. Go to our website. That's www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. The third way is non-electronic, so you can always send a check to 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. Again, my name's Liz. If you'd like to follow me, I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Liz Willis, LIZWILLIS. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to pan to Air Force One. Of course, this is one of the smaller planes that President Trump will be using today. Not as big as the one we've seen this week, but still beautiful nonetheless. And the crowd is ecstatic. For many people, this is their first time seeing the President of the United States. And we're really excited to bring it to the homes of those who cannot be here. Friendly reminder for all of y'all to go over and check out iTarget Pro. iTarget Pro has been incredible partnering with Right Side Broadcasting Network. If you are afraid of the Democrats successfully defunding the police, you're worried about how you're going to protect your family, well, you got to know self-defense is going to be the only option. If you're like me and you don't have time to consistently train, and let's face it, ammo is expensive, then iTarget Pro is your solution. You can use their proprietary app and laser bullet to train safely in the convenience of your own home with your actual firearm. iTarget comes in all the major calibers, including .223 and 5.56, so you can stay sharp with almost any firearm. Today, since they are our partner, you can get 10% off plus free shipping with the offer code SAVE10. That's SAVE10. You guys, this is really the smartest way for you to practice and the safest way for you to practice. It'll pay for itself in just a few days. It will also make the perfect Christmas or birthday gift. Get shopping. That's the letter I, targetpro.com. Again, itargetpro.com. Make sure you use offer code SAVE10, SAVE10 at checkout. You guys, we are just moments away. The back door of Air Force One has opened. This is where the staffer, the press pool is going to disembark. So we'll likely see Kayleigh McEnany. Who knows? It has been a busy day for President Trump. He started his morning in Atlanta, Georgia at Black Voices for Trump. He had Ben Carson as well as Herschel Walker to introduce him there today. He then went to Miami, Florida, where he hosted a roundtable for Latinos for Trump, which was a wonderful sight to see. If you missed any of these events, be sure to look them up. He went back to D.C. to host another roundtable at the Trump Hotel, then went back to Air Force One and headed up to Virginia for a rally here at 9 p.m. You guys, find any other 73-year-old that can do this. It's absolutely remarkable. Looking at his schedule, it looks like he'll be returning to the White House around midnight tonight, and he's got a full schedule tomorrow as well, as opposed to his opponent, Biden, who calls lids, which essentially means you alert your press that you will not be doing anything that day. So when you call a lid, you're saying, I'm done for the day. Biden has called lids roughly around 9 a.m. every morning this week. Ridiculous. It's like he's making it obvious that he doesn't even want to be president of the United States. President Trump, on the other hand, cannot get enough. He is fighting so hard and showing just how much he loves this country. He is getting out there and campaigning as much as he physically can. It's remarkable. The door is open on the left side of Air Force One. That means the next person that we should see in that doorway will be POTUS. Again, Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States of America. Thank you for those who are donating. We're going to get some quick shout-outs right now and while we wait for POTUS to emerge from Air Force One, so it's not too late to get your donations in. Keep in mind, we rely on donations to bring you coverage like this, so if you're enjoying it as much as I am, make sure you donate. If donating is not an option financially right now, then make sure you share this stream. I really want to break 120,000 viewers tonight. So again, that's 120,000 viewers. Make sure that you share this stream. It's completely free to do so, and we really appreciate your support. Give this stream a big like, and make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. Looks like we have $4.99 from Sandra Lee, who donated via Super Chat. We have Lazy Beekeeper, who donated as well. We have Kathy Newton, who donated $9.99. Leslie Colley as well. A new member, Leo919, and we have $30 from Karma Non, who said, thank you, RSB, and Trump 2020. $99 from Camille Bali. $50 from Take Two. You guys, let me just point this out. 90,000 of you are watching right now. I hope you feel like you are a part of a massive movement, because that's exactly what you are. When you are sitting there at home watching President Trump, you are supporting President Trump. Not just the campaign, not just us, but the world is looking at these online media numbers. And I guarantee you, the Biden-Harris campaign is shaking in their Timberland boots right now. They do not know what to do. The coronavirus has not stopped, despite how bad the left wanted it to stop President Trump from campaigning. He didn't take no for an answer. He is out here. These venues and these rallies might be smaller, but you, the American people, people from all over the world, are showing up in full force, whether it be online or virtually, to show your support for your president, and it is not going unnoticed. Make sure you continue to do that. These next 39 days are going to be so important, now more than ever, for media outlets like Right Side Broadcasting Network, who are able to get to these locations and these small venues all over the United States and broadcast them out. This is the way to do it. We hope you guys are enjoying it as much as we are, and we hope you guys realize the significance and the importance of President Trump getting elected for 4 more years. Whether it's the rights of the unborn, the military, our tax breaks, cuts, and regulations on small businesses, the right to try bill, the platinum plan that President Trump just released today, his southern security on the southern wall. There's so many things President Trump is doing that is unheard of. Jerusalem, I could go on and on, but it's promises made, promises kept. And we need 4 more years of President Trump. Like many of this pre-speakers said, it's going to take at least 4 more years to continue draining that swamp. Getting back into reading some of these donations, we have 91,000 people watching right now. Help us break 30,000 on Instagram. We are at 20,000. If just almost 10% of you hop on over to Instagram and follow Right Side Broadcasting Network, it's completely free. That's at RSB Network. Make sure you give us a follow, DM us. If you mention us on your story tonight, if you tag at RSB Network on your story on Instagram with a clip of this broadcast or any type of shout out that is positive, we will be happy to repost it on our story, so it'll in turn give all of our viewers access to see your page and really help boost you as well. So make sure you give us a shout out, follow us. If you'd like to follow me as well, you can do that. I'd be happy to have you join me on my Instagram journey. Again, my name is Liz Willis, LIZWILLIS, on behalf of Right Side Broadcasting Network. It looks like Air Force One is just now finishing up the disembarks of those in the back cabin. This is also known as the press cabin. The front of the plane is where President Trump sits generally, so we are just awaiting him, and he should be coming out through the left door, so that is going to be the left door on the screen. Again, this chat is incredible, you guys. We have so many people, and I can't say thank you enough for all your continuous support. My phone is literally frozen because you guys are killing it. Wonderful. I can't say thank you enough. We'll see. It looks like we have... Wow, my phone's actually frozen from this chat room. All right, there we go. 94,000 people watching. POTUS has not even taken this stage yet. You guys, this is absolutely incredible. It gives me so much hope for November 3rd. A lot of you don't get to see what I see on almost a daily basis, and that is historic, unprecedented support for someone running for United States office. What I see for President Trump is absolute love. You've seen it with the new chant they've been doing the past 3 rallies. It's "We love you, we love you." And that holds so true to what I've been seeing out on this trail. It's not a, "We like you, he's fine, it's okay, we'll be fine if he doesn't get elected." It's "We love you." President Trump has fought for our families and fought for our freedom and fought for the future of this country. They generally love him. Ladies and gentlemen, he's about to be here with us. Stand by.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you very much. Hello, Newport News. I know it well. I know it well. I know it well. You know, my father and I had a couple of little jobs here, and they were great. When the ships came in, they were packed. When the ships went out, they were stone cold empty. I said, this is a different kind of a place. But we loved it, and it's a great place, and I'm thrilled to be back in the Commonwealth of Virginia with the thousands of loyal, hardworking American patriots. And I also want to thank the great people of North Carolina. Who's here from North Carolina? Not bad, it's a little area there. 39 days from now, we're going to win Virginia. We're going to win North Carolina. We're going to win 4 more years in the White House and keep doing what we've been doing, because it's never been anything quite like it. This is the most important election in the history of our country. One of the biggest issues for the people of Virginia is your Second Amendment. And if sleepy Joe Biden wins, your Second Amendment will be eliminated and your firearms will be confiscated, whether you like it or not. When asked if a Biden administration was coming after your guns, Biden replied yes. That's all he had to say, yes. He promised to put the gun grabber, Beto O'Rourke, you know Beto. Remember Beto? He was on the cover of a third-rate magazine, and he said, I was born to run for president. That was the end of his run. That's what it ended. Anytime they say they were born to do it, they got problems. That didn't work out. It was a steep drop. But he put Beto in charge of his assault on your guns. And you know what happened with Beto? Beto went crazy. He wants to take your guns away. Biden vows to impose punishing taxes on gun owners, outlaw many of the most popular firearms in America, create a national gun registry, and wage the most aggressive war on gun rights in U.S. history. Biden will disarm law-abiding Americans. At the same time, they'll have riots down your street, and that's just fine. That's okay. That's okay, according to the left wing. Only by voting for me can you save your country and can you save your Second Amendment. So I was told not to go for Virginia. We did really well last time, and I never came, I never did anything, and we did really well. I said, why didn't I go for Virginia? But it's traditionally not a Republican state over the last number of decades. And I said, why not? You have a crazy governor, and every time I see it, every 2 weeks he's trying to take your guns away, right? And he'll attack constantly right to life. And you know, he's so far left, he doesn't even talk about late term. He talks about after the baby was born, which is the first time I ever heard of that. You hear late term, but he said, and after the baby is born, we'll start talking to mother. In other words, he's talking about execution of the baby, execution. You have a governor that thinks he's Michael Jackson. Remember, his wife saved him.
Remember, he wanted to prove that he was just dressed up like Michael Jackson, and that he sometimes thought when he was young that he resembled Michael Jackson. I don't think so. And you remember he wanted to moonwalk across the stage, and his wife said, no, don't do it, darling. Don't, please, darling. Nobody moonwalks like Michael. That would have been good. I wish I could have seen that. That would not have been pretty. So based on your governor, and based on the fact that he's always, every month you're fighting for guns. If I'm not here, your Second Amendment is gone. And I'm talking about all over the country. Forget about just Virginia. So I said, let's give Virginia a shot. We're nearby. Right? We're nearby. I even said we'll bring in the heavy artillery. We'll bring in our great Vice President, Mike Pence. Did he do a good job? I'll tell you what, Kamala is no Mike Pence. She's no Mike Pence. No, he's great. He's done a fantastic job, and he's with you all the way. So I said, let's give it a shot. And, there's a big difference. I tell you what, there's never been a bigger difference between candidates or parties. Never been. No party that supports, as an example, what he would do to a child after it was born is fit to be even involved in any way in this nation, let alone running this nation. As you know, Sleepy Joe Biden endorsed your governor. So that means he endorsed the policy of your governor. That means he endorsed breaking up your Second Amendment. So it'll either be totally broken up or it will be, wiped out. Essentially, it won't be that much different. So here we are in Virginia, like I had nothing to do today. I woke up at 6 in the morning. I read some papers. I read the fake news. And then I was in Florida early in the morning, and then I went to Florida, and we did a big round table with the Hispanics. They were great. And then we flew to Atlanta from Florida, Palm Beach, and then we started off in all different places. We were all. And then we went to Miami. We started off. But I'll tell you what, Florida's great. We're going to win Florida. We're way up in Florida. Way up. Way up. Even a poll that gave me, I've never had a good number. ABC, Washington Post poll. It's a terrible poll, always been bad. I think it got everything wrong 4 years ago. They said I'm 4 up or more, but I'm 4 up in the state of Florida. So anyway, we went to Miami, went to a beautiful place actually in Miami. You know where that is, right? And we had, I won't say because then they'll say I'm advertising if I do that, the fake news. I won't say the name of the place, but it is beautiful. And then what happened is we went to Atlanta, and we left the great Hispanics. We call them the Latinos for Trump. Latinos. Where we are polling at numbers that I guess no Republican has ever polled before, perhaps Abraham Lincoln, but in those days he wasn't big into the Hispanic movement, I think. Abraham had other things to think about, don't we think? But I will say this. Nobody has done more for many communities, but I always say for the black community, nobody has done more for the black community than Donald Trump since Abraham Lincoln. Nobody. So we flew to Atlanta, and we had an unbelievable 2 hours, and this was with the African-American community, the black community. I always say, what do you like better? Tell me what you like better. They say usually the black community. And what is the answer? Tell me, African American. I'm not listening. I don't want to hear from other people. I want to hear African American. What do you like better, African American or black community? It's black. Yeah, that's what we hear. I'll go with whatever you want. That's your choice. We can use either one. I'll go with whatever you want. We had really a great We had a great 2 hours, credible people. Herschel Walker introduced me, serious guy. We had a lot of champion fighters, a lot of great people. It was an amazing time. And then we flew to Washington, where we had a round table. And then I say, well, that's it for the night, right? You know, this starts at 6 in the morning. So I said, that's it for the night. Is that it? I'll go back home to the White House. No, sir. Well, I want to... You're going to Virginia, sir. Oh, good. Oh, that's good. Thank you very much. This was like, I asked the question about an hour ago. Where am I going now? Put me in, coach. You ever hear the expression? Just wind me up and put me in, coach. I said, where are we going tonight? I said, let's go back to the White House. Let's see our first lady. And they said, no, sir, you have a rally scheduled. You have a rally scheduled. Where is it? In Virginia. I said, oh, that's good. How many people? They said, a hell of a lot of people. That's all. Well, I wouldn't. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. When you have rallies like this, you don't forget them. You don't forget them. Thank you. Go ahead. What the hell? No. So we're going to put a heavy play in for Virginia. Seriously, we're going to put a heavy play in Virginia. And I think we can win this state. Man, that crowd is big. Look at that. It goes way back to the hangar. That is a big crowd. That's big. You know, I always tell the cameras, I don't want to bore people with this, but I implore them, turn the cameras around and show them the size of this crowd. It goes back to the building. But they never like doing it because they don't like, including Fox, they don't like showing big crowds. You know, they don't like showing big crowds. We left Ohio. We're way up in Ohio. Way up in Ohio. We're way up in Georgia. We were in Georgia today, though, with the governor and the senator, Senator Perdue. And we were, you know, Representative Doug Collins, great guy. Kelly Loeffler, great person, senator. And Senator Perdue. And I said, how are we doing? They said, you're winning by a lot in Georgia. You're winning by a lot. Of course, if you see these people, they'll say, he's pretty close in Georgia. Too close to call. And then we have election night comes. The polls in Georgia are closed. Donald Trump has won the state of Georgia. You know, you only win if you're up by, like, a lot. If you're up by a lot, they announce it immediately. That was what happened with Texas last time. They said Texas is too close to call. All for months and months and months. The only one that didn't believe that were the people in Texas. So when it closed, they said the polls in Texas are closed. Donald Trump has won the state, like in the same breath. Nah, we're doing great in Texas. We're doing great all over the place. We're doing great all over. I hear we're up in New Hampshire, which is great. Last time that one got taken away from us with people that just came in with buses all over the place. They had buses coming up from Massachusetts. You have the rhino governor. You know the rhino governor of Massachusetts, right? Baker. He's a rhino, but I guess he does whatever he can to get elected. The Democrat Party is now run by socialists and Marxists who want to destroy our laws, our values, and want to destroy your way of life. To uphold our Constitution as written tomorrow, I will be announcing my nominee to the United States Supreme Court. Fill that seat. Oh, we're going to fill it. Don't worry about it. And the Republicans have been very unified. You see that? Very unified. Even a couple of people that normally don't vote with us. You know, they usually don't vote with the Republicans, but they are. And we have tremendous unity in the party. Mitch is doing a good job. Kevin is doing a good job. We're going to take over the House. We're going to take back the House. People are tired of crazy Nancy. They're tired. We want to get some stimulus out. She doesn't want to give it. She just doesn't. Only for political reasons. Not your fault. You know whose fault it is? China's fault. That's whose fault it is. That's whose fault it is. But, you know, it's an amazing thing because the Democrats are saying, well, it's the end of a term. And because, we have a lot of time left. Think of this. If it were them, don't forget, we don't have to do it by the election, but we should be really able. That would be a great victory. Going into the election with that biggest of all victories. You know, they say the biggest thing you can do is the appointment of judges, but especially the appointment of Supreme Court justices. That's the single biggest thing a president can do. Because it sets the tone of the country for 40 years, 50 years, I mean a long time. So we're going to be announcing somebody great. I just think that, I just watched. The great thing about Air Force One, there are more televisions on that plane than any plane. They got them in every room, and you open up for a closet. You want a shirt. Let me open. Oh, there's a television. And I'm watching the Democrats saying how terrible it is that we're appointing. We have the right. We won the election, right? That we have the right. We won the election. And we have a lot of time. And if they were in opposition, they would do the same thing. Maybe they would just do it more rapidly, okay? More rapidly. No, so tomorrow I think is going to be a big day. 5 o'clock tomorrow at the White House. We're going to be naming the nominee. Hopefully we'll be on that court for 50 years. 50 years. Be on there for 50 years. The only thing I can tell you for sure is it will be a woman. Is that okay? Does anybody have any objections to that? Please raise your hand. A lot of cowards out there. Look at you men. I don't see how. There's not one man here that has the guts to raise your hand. Not one. If given the power, the radical left will pack the Supreme Court with extremists who will strike the words "under God" from the Pledge of Allegiance as they did twice. I heard their Pledge of Allegiance. They had it in their caucus. I'm watching. I said, oh, they made a mistake. I said to the First Lady, darling, they made a mistake. They left the words "under God" out. And then I heard it a second time, and they made the same mistake. I said, this is straight. This is like the guys on the Mueller team that cleaned their phones, right? 31 phones. And they said, oh, we made a mistake. And they all made the exact same mistake. The odds of that are 1,000,000,000 to 1, right? They all made, oh, they got caught. Did you see what's going on? Oh, they got caught. Gee, I feel sorry. That's a shame. Yeah, they should be. I'll tell you, they should be. They're crooked people. They're crooked people. So they cleaned up their phones. Hillary took her phones and smashed them. She took 33,000 emails and deleted them after Congress requested them. And I think they're looking at that, too. I think so. I think so. Can you imagine? I have a friend. He's a very smart, rich guy, made a lot of money, but he's a very streetwise guy. He said, you've been under investigation by these thieves, and they're smart. They just weren't smart when they all used the same exact method to clean their phone. That wasn't smart. At least put it a little bit there. 31 different phones. Like, what is it, 21 people, 31 phones. But that's okay. That's okay. That's only illegal. But this friend of mine said, they've gone through everything. They've gone through your taxes. They've gone through your financials. They've gone through everything. You have to be the most honest guy in the world. And they come up, no collusion. Oh, they want it, if they found anything. No, it's a bad group of people headed by Robert Mueller. Bad group of people. Who wanted the job at the FBI, but he lied to Congress. He said he didn't say that, but he did. I mean, he did. We have all the proof. So he is in the same group, but they're actually in worse shape. Because at least with Mueller, you can say he probably didn't know what the hell he was doing. Sort of like Joe Biden. I figure about the same. Does that make sense? Does anybody understand? How would you like to, you're getting a divorce or something, and you say, I gotta be represented by Bob Mueller. Do you think so? You saw his performance in Congress, right? I want to be represented by Bob Mueller. No, it's the same thing. How can we have Joe Biden representing this country? And you know, he's on the lid. You know the lid, right? The lid is when they say, we're going to put a lid on it. So I guess it means probably what it's supposed to. I have no idea. Lid. It's a lid. But it's an expression. And every day, early in the morning, they say, Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, he's put a lid on it. Sir, Biden has put a lid on it. What does that mean? That means he's not working today. This guy takes more days off. You have to have a president that's going to work his ass off in this country. You need energy. You need a very energetic president. They said, how do you think he's going to do in the debate? I think good. He's been doing it for 47 years. I think he's going to do good, I think. And one thing we know, if he does just okay, they're going to say, the fake news, they're going to say it was the single greatest debate performance in history. It was unbelievable. Far better than Winston Churchill in his prime. Winston Churchill was nothing compared to Sleepy Joe. So you know that if he finishes the debate, which I think he will, and he might even do well, but if he does well, they're going to say it's the greatest debate, and they have it already written. They have a couple of scenarios. If he does really poorly, they're going to say he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad. If he does modestly well, like he did against Bernie, they were sort of even. And if he does like that, they'll say it was the greatest performance in history. But with your vote, I will preserve our Constitution and ensure law and order. Joe Biden is weak. He surrendered his party to the flag burners, the rioters, the anti-police anarchists, the radicals. All these guys running around these Democrat-run cities and states. Look at it, 10 out of 10. We could fix up Portland so fast, they have to invite us in. I want to be invited into that one. We would fix that like we did Minneapolis. We would fix that up in less than a half an hour. Remember Minneapolis, they were right. I mean, the problem is they invited us in about 2 weeks. By the time they invited, there was a lot of flames behind them. Remember the reporter is standing there? This is a peaceful protest. And behind him, you have like blocks that look like Berlin during the war, didn't it? I never saw anything. This is the craziest thing. It's a peaceful performance. But what we did, we said it's a peaceful protest, and we don't call these rallies anymore. Because in Dem states, like where you have a governor who's a Democrat, you're not allowed to go to church, you're not allowed to go to a restaurant, you're not allowed to go to your friend's house. You can't move from your house unless you're related to the governor, then you can do whatever the hell you want. You can't do anything. You can't do anything unless, of course, it's a peaceful protest. Okay? And so what we do is we call these peaceful protests, and we're getting big crowds, 25, 30,000, 35,000. There's more enthusiasm now than there was 4 years ago because we've done a good job, right? There's more now. Now we have more enthusiasm now than we did. You know, it's interesting. Don't forget, 4 years ago, I did a nice job. I was successful, had a great television show, The Apprentice. It was great. People got to know me a little bit. I said, let me run from the first hour that we came down the escalator. First lady and I down the escalator, her with a white dress, right? Very famous escalator right now. People go take pictures of the escalator. But we came down the escalator. We were in first place, right? We never went. I never left center stage, right? And that's based on poll numbers. If you're the number one poller. And I said, look, I want an odd number. I don't want an even number. Because he said, what are you talking? I said, because that means two people are in center, and that's not fair. So I want an odd number. We were on center stage. But we've done a good job. What happened is I said I was going to cut you taxes. We gave you the biggest tax decrease in history, right? I said I was going to cut regulations, and we were going to have an incredible economy. The regulations were probably even more important than the tax cuts, okay? You want to know the truth. You ask the business people, the great ones, they will tell you if they had a choice, they'll take the regulation cuts. And we still have a ways to go with that. But we did that, We rebuilt your military. We added Space Force. I mean, what we've done is far more. Right to try. How about right to try? I never talked about that. We knocked out 100% of the ISIS caliphate, right? We achieved energy independence, and we've done it while protecting our very pristine environment, by the way. And earlier this month, oh, you're going to be so happy, Virginia and North Carolina, come on, North Carolina, you're going to be so happy. You're going to be cheering like crazy because I think you like this. But about a month ago, I signed an order prohibiting offshore drilling on the Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina coasts, right? Right? And because I happen to like this state a lot, I said, what about Virginia? What about North Carolina? And somebody said, I don't know. I don't know if they like it. I said, I think they like it. So I'm extending the moratorium to North Carolina and Virginia. Okay. And if you want to have oil rigs out there, just let me know. We'll take it off. I mean, I can understand that too. But I think you want it. So we're extending it to Virginia. We're extending it to North Carolina, up the coast, and we're not going to have any problems like can be had. All right? So I think you like that. If you don't like it, you're going to let me know. I'm going to change it. I can change things very easily. We built the greatest economy in the history of the world, and now we're quickly doing it again. So I did all of these things. And in doing all of these things, you said the second time, well, now, this is actually a much easier campaign in a way. I mean, the only problem is I've been tarred with this horrible witch hunt for 4 years, and I didn't do it. Now think of it. What would my numbers be if I didn't go through almost 4 years of a Russian witch hunt that turned out to be just the opposite? They were the ones that were involved with Russia. It was a whole big disinformation campaign. Now, what would my numbers be with all that we've done? And if you didn't hear night after night on fake news, CNN and MSDNC, and the New York Times and the Washington Post, and now it's it's done. Because if you look at everything that's come out over the last few days, we caught them. They've been caught. They spied on my campaign, and they tried for a coup. Can you believe it in this day and age? And we caught them cold. So what would our numbers be? Our numbers, not my numbers. What would our numbers be if every night, every morning, every day, they were saying Russia, Russia, Russia? It turned out to be a total hoax. In fact, Biden's son, it was just revealed 2 days ago, got $3.5 million from the wife of the mayor of Moscow. Think of it. So, but I really think about that. What would be we did all these incredible things with the economy, with everything, and then we got hit with this virus from China. They should never have let it happen. We won't forget it. And we closed up. We saved millions of lives. Now we've opened opening to records. But what would our popularity be if every day for almost 4 years you didn't hear any of this bullshit, okay? What would it be? True. It's true. What would they be? With all we've done, I think that would be very nice. The Democrats would say, yes, if you'd like, we could cancel the election because we have no chance. But you know what? Hopefully, they have no chance anyway, and hopefully you're going to remember what I just said. Because we were unjustly treated, unjustly accused by a bunch of treasonous crooks, a bunch of bad, bad people who got caught. And I think they'll have to pay a very substantial price. When the plague arrived from China, we launched the largest national mobilization since World War II. We pioneered life-saving therapies, reducing the fatality rate 85% since April. You know, the question was asked to me, how well did we do on the pandemic? And I said, I give us an A to an A+. You look at the ventilators, you look at all we've done. We did a great job. We helped the governors. The governors are always very thankful. Then sometimes they'll get in front of a camera. They'll remember some of them are Democrats, right? But I said the only thing we did badly on was public relations, because we were working so hard. We didn't think, I think, frankly, they're not going to cover it well no matter what. But we did a hell of a job. And then compare us to Europe, and we did very well. But now that Europe is exploding again, they don't want to talk about it, and neither do I, because I want Europe to heal. I want the whole world to heal. But we've done a hell of a job, except in public relations, and that's explaining it to people. On that, I give us a D. But we got an A+ in terms of what we've done. Through Operation Warp Speed, we will develop and distribute a vaccine in record time by the end of the year, and it could be sooner than that, but we have the greatest labs, the greatest companies of that kind in the world, and they are right there. They are right there. It's going to be incredible. So it's going to be a great vaccine. And we have Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, another one just announced today. These are great, great, great companies. On November 3rd, Virginia will decide whether we end the pandemic and return to record prosperity, or whether we allow Joe Biden to kill the recovery, delay the vaccine, impose a $4 trillion tax hike on you. That's what he wants to do. Ban American energy. He wants to ban fracking. How about that? He wants to ban fracking. Then he lucks into the nomination. You know, he shouldn't have gotten it, because if Pocahontas left 2 days early, Bernie would have won, and we would have had Bernie. I don't know who I would have been better against, maybe, who knows. But we would have had radical Bernie. But we're going to get a lot of Bernie votes like we did last time, because his people agree with us on trade, except we're better at it than he is. So we're going to get a lot of the Bernie votes. Boy, Bernie takes a hard shot, doesn't he? This is twice it happened, and he has such a nice attitude between him. And how about Bloomberg? Bloomberg gets absolutely decimated in the debate, right? Mini Mike. He gets decimated. And in order to get back with the Democrat Party, I'm going to put $100 million into Florida. If I were him, I'd just take a pass. He doesn't have to give us anything. We don't need his money. Just take a pass, you know? So he wants to buy his way into the Democrats, and so he's going down to Florida. But unfortunately, he did something that wasn't so good, right? He said, I'm going to pay off all these fines of the prisoners. There's only one problem. It's illegal. Now he's got himself a problem. Now he's got himself a bigger problem than he had when Pocahontas beat the hell out of him in the debate. Oh, that wasn't so easy, Mike. Remember, she was going point after point after point, and he thought she was talking about me. And so did I, actually. And then what happened? She said, and I'm not talking about President Trump, I'm talking about you. And he went, oh, my God. He's not a good guy, sir. Not a good guy. Stupid. To do that, stupid. You have to have some pride. You can't go. The way they treated him so badly, you can't do that. But they're going to destroy the suburbs. You know, I keep hearing about suburban women like you, right? Suburban women. Well, I just ended a regulation that would have allowed projects in your... do you mind having a project next to your house? You're beautiful. You live in a beautiful house, right? Happily married, beautiful kids, everything perfect, the American dream, right? Do you mind having a project built next door? Yeah, she said she minds. You know who minds? Everybody minds. I just don't think anybody knows that we did this. I really don't. I don't think anybody knows. And they're going to change the zoning that allows them to build projects in the suburbs. So the guys came to me. I said, I want to end that. They came, sir, we're all set. We're going to really bring it back. I said, no, I didn't say bring it back. I said, I want it ended. Well, that's not so easy. I said, I want it ended. I don't want it. I don't want it. And we terminated it so you can live happily ever after, if you vote for Trump. If you don't vote for Trump, you can forget it, because they will put it. You know who's in charge of it? Cory Booker, Senator Cory Booker. He's another beauty. He was Elizabeth. If you really take, you had Elizabeth Warren, you had Cory Booker, and you had Kamala. You know, if you pronounce her name wrong, she goes crazy. Kamala, like a comma. It's like a comma. She's like a comma. And by the way, nobody treated Sleepy Joe worse than his vice presidential pick. I brilliantly said he'll never pick Kamala because he got called a racist. He got called xenophobic, which he didn't know what that meant. He got called all sorts of things, right? And so I said, no, obviously not going to be. He picked her. I couldn't believe it. But I think that's good. We like our Mike Pence. We like Mike Pence. And she's rated further left than Bernie Sanders. I thought he was the most left in the... He's not actually even in the party. He's sort of like an independent. Nobody ever used to say that, but he's like an independent. But she's rated further left than Crazy Bernie. And this is what you want? I don't think so. Just so you understand, and then she calls it the Harris administration, along with, it's like you're naming a movie, the producing credits, right? In the Harris administration, along with Vice President Biden. No. He's heading up the ticket. But then he said the same thing. He put her name first. I've never done that. I love Mike. But I've never said Mike Pence and Donald Trump. I always say Trump because you know what? You got to know that. You're the president. He doesn't know that he's in first position. He doesn't know it. He doesn't know it. He forgot. Hey, look, you're entitled to a mistake every once in a while. It was strange that they did it almost in the same hour, though, right? It was like one on top of another. Give free health care. They want to give free health care to illegal aliens and indoctrinate your children with poisonous anti-American lies in school. We don't like that. To combat the toxic left, and you see what it is. It's toxic left-wing propaganda in our schools. I announced last week that we are launching a new pro-American lesson plan for students called the 1776 Commission. We will teach our children the truth about America, that we are the most exceptional nation on the face of the earth, and we're getting better all the time. And we're joined tonight by a friend of ours, a warrior, Congressman Rob Whitman. Thanks, Rob. Good guy. Virginia Republican Party Chair, Rich Anderson. Good job. How are we doing? Am I making the right move? I'm not wasting my time here, Rich. I got to ask him. Rich, what do you think? I think so, right? I think so. And congressional candidates, Nick Freitas. Good. Oh, look at him. We had a call the other day, a very successful call, right? Great call. Thanks, Nick. And a real warrior, a real hero, Scott Taylor. Scott. Those are two very important races, and I think you're going to win them. I saw some good polling. We're taking over the House from Crazy Nancy. We're going to have it. And I think those two guys, I think they're going to win. Also, somebody that I have heard incredible things about, the Republican nominee for the U.S. Senate, Daniel Gade. Daniel Gade. He's a good-looking guy. Good. And I'll tell you, he's got to beat his opponent because he is just... Warner was, he was talking about Russia, right? Trump and Russia. Then he gets scammed by a guy with the greatest Russian accent. You remember that, right? I have pictures of President Trump. Oh, really? Where? What are they like? Are they nude pictures? Yes. Does Vladimir know? Yes. So he's talking to this guy. Got scammed, okay? It was a comedian or something. He was a comedian. He's allowed to talk to Russians. If I talk to a Russian, it's a terrible thing. By the way, getting along with Russia is not the worst thing in the world. Does that make sense? Getting along with North Korea, Kim Jong-un, everyone said, oh, he's getting along. He's giving so much. I said, what did he give? They couldn't tell me anything. You know what I gave? Sanctions. That's what I gave. But you know what? We get along. You would have been in a war right now. Would have been a nuclear war. You would have been in a war right now with North Korea if it wasn't for me. Hillary Clinton didn't have a clue. Obama didn't have a clue. Obama told me when I sat with him, the one time I sat with him, what's your biggest problem, North Korea? I said, how big? He said, it's a big problem. And he was indicating like it was war. I said, have you tried calling him? Have you tried? Have you given it a little shot? You know, instead of losing 10 million people, they used to say 50,000 people could be killed. No, 20 million people could be killed, okay? 20 million. Seoul is right next to, you know, right near the border. It would be too bad, but we have a good relationship. I get criticized because I have relationships with these people, and that's a positive thing. We have to remember that's a positive thing. And I had a very good relationship in China with President Xi, but you know what? This pandemic has just, we made a great trade deal, but it just doesn't mean the same to me. Does that make any sense? It doesn't mean the same to me. It doesn't mean the same to me. Last week, 2 weeks ago, they had the largest order of corn to our farmers in our history. They had the largest order of soybeans. They had this massive order of beef. But you know what? It just doesn't mean as much to me now as it did at one point. The ink wasn't even dry on the trade deal, and this thing came in and they could have stopped it. We're also deeply moved to be joined by two Gold Star spouses, two incredible people. Karen Owens was a guest at my first address to Congress as we honored the supreme sacrifice of her husband, fallen Navy SEAL Ryan Owens. Where's Karen? Where are you? Come on up here. Come up. And we're also joined with Brittany Jacobs and her family. You know Brittany. On Memorial Day in 2017, I met Brittany and her son Christian at Arlington National Cemetery, and we honored the memory of her incredible husband and Christian's dad, Marine Sergeant Christopher Jacobs. We took a picture together, that little boy who's no longer a little boy. Come on over here. Come on over here. The both of you. Come on. The both. Come on. I said, how's your beautiful, handsome boy? She said, really good, but he wants to go back to school. Let's go. Open up the schools. Open up the schools, Governor. We'll get them open. But we thank God every day for our courageous warriors, and we'll always support our incredible Gold Star families, and we want to thank both of you. It's incredible. Thank you. And we'll get you back to school soon, all right? Get them back. Come on, Governor. Let's go. You got other things to do. These people, you know, they're keeping the states closed because they think it's going to be harmful on November 3rd. And it's not really, it's not going to have too much of an impact. What it's doing is hurting a lot of people, though. It's hurting a lot of people. In everything we do, we are putting America first. We've spent the last 4 years reversing the terrible damage Joe Biden and his friends inflicted on this country over the last 47 years. I love it when he says, we could have done this, we should have done that. The guy's been here forever. 47 years, hard to believe, right? And that was in prime time, although he never had super prime time, but that was in prime time, remember? And this time, and now I got him here. Together we've taken on a corrupt and broken system that's been throwing everything at us from the very beginning. A new trove of documents, and you have to go home. You got to read these documents. And they now prove that Russia interfered in 2016. Unfortunately, it was on behalf of Hillary Clinton, not Trump. They interfered, disinformation. Newly released text messages make 100% clear the FBI knew that Democrats purchased Russian disinformation targeting me, your favorite president, which then formed the basis for the witch hunt. And I'll tell you, we've had some incredible strength in terms of people like Sean Hannity, the great Lou Dobbs. Don't think of it. Laura, Tucker. Tucker's been great the last period of time. Fox and Friends. Janine. I'll tell you. Jesse, how about Jesse, huh? Hey, Greg Gutfeld was bad to me. Now he's great to me. He said, hey, would you rather have a nice guy that doesn't do anything or a horrible human being like Trump that gets it done? They all say, I'd rather have the horrible human. I'm not a horrible human being. I'm a nicer guy. I always get very offended when they say about, like, well, maybe people don't like him, but he gets everything done. I think people like me, but I do get it done. That's for sure. Done more than any administration ever in 3.5 years, first 3.5 years. That's so nice. I'll tell you, that is so nice. That is so nice. The first you talk about the seating, don't worry about the justice will get her seat. Don't worry about that. And that's nice. But you know, they say, these people said, they've never heard a political campaign where a big audience says, we love Trump or the candidate. I've never heard it. It's true. I've never heard it for Ronald Reagan, and I like Ronald Reagan, but I've never heard it. And they've never heard it. Nobody's ever heard it. Who says that? But I love you, too. I really do. I do. And we're getting it done. No, they've never heard that chant. I've never heard it. And it started about 2 weeks ago. I've never heard it even before. But again, before... I want to thank you. It's really nice. It's really nice. And we've got to go out and we've got to really work hard. And we've got to watch this ballot scam because they're scamming us, okay? They're scamming us. And then they say, he doesn't want to turn over government. Of course they do. But it's got to be a fair election. You know, see, that's another scam. They don't mention anything about ballots. I say, got to be a fair election. When they're losing ballots all over the place, when they're losing ballots that just happen to be Trump ballots. You know, in Virginia, did you hear? In a very Democrat area, they sent 2 ballots to thousands of people, 1,000 or thousands of people. It just came out over the wires. So people in a Democrat area got 2 ballots instead of 1. They had 8 ballots in a waste paper basket, military ballots that all were for Trump. Everyone was for Trump. And they were in a waste paper basket. They were thrown away and somebody saw them. Then they had many, many ballots thrown into a river someplace. I don't even know the state. These are just a few of them. And then go back earlier. Go back to the Democrat primaries. Go back to the great state, Iowa. I love Iowa. We're going to win Iowa big, 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 big. We won it last time by 11 points. We're going to win it big with ethanol, what I've done for them, with the $28 billion for the farmers, and that includes you. That includes tobacco. That includes a lot of things, but that includes your farmers. But you go back to their primaries, right? Go back to the primary, the Iowa, the first primary. It was done with ballots. They have no idea. Remember the disaster? And that's a small primary. Now they're talking about tens of millions of these fake ballots going all over the place. Who's sending them? Where are they being sent? Who's sending them back? Supposing they don't get them. Are they being sent to Democrat areas? And they're all run by Democrat governors, right? All of them, 100%. It's 100%. So you have a guy in Nevada. He just comes up with the idea. I think we're going to win Nevada. If fairly, we're going to win it. But he comes up, well, you don't have to have your signature verified. Oh, that's nice. That's good. He decided, let's not do that. But you know a real big problem? I like watching television and have the winner is, right? You might not hear it for months because this is a mess. Go back and study what happened in Iowa. Take a look. Take a look at what happened in New York in a small congressional race. Carolyn Maloney. She should have lost the race, in my opinion. They gave it to her because it was a crooked deal. The guy that she ran against was having fits. He said, what are you doing? What are you doing? Everything was mixed up. The ballots were lost. There was fraud. There was everything. Go into Paterson, New Jersey. These are just recently. It's a disaster waiting to happen. And the only one that knows it better than we do are the Democrats. They know this is going to happen. They want it to happen because they want to go through a court system. And instead, you're not going to hear, very unlikely that you're going to hear winner that night. I could be leading, and then they'll just keep getting ballots and ballots and ballots and ballots, because now they're saying that the ballots can come in late. Well, what does that mean? And more importantly, they're going to be given, in some cases, a week or 2 weeks to count the ballots. So if we're waiting for one state, now think of it. If we're waiting, and they're talking about 5, 6, 7 states that have this problem. So if we're waiting for one state, does that mean the whole nation, the whole world is going to wait for one state? I won't use any names, but you have Pennsylvania, where you have a Democrat who, by the way, lost the case last week. We sued. We want him to open up his state, and we won on constitutional grounds. North Carolina, they have the state all locked up. So we're talking about, these are the governors that run their states for Democrats. They really do. I mean, they run them. They're Democrat governors, and they're in charge of the count. We went to Nevada to make a speech. We had 5 different sites. The governor made it impossible, so we ended up at a different site. We had to get one This is the guy that's in charge of ballots. He was a political hack. Now he's the governor. And this guy is in charge of ballots. It's not going to work. It's going to be a disaster. And I want a smooth, beautiful transition, but they don't add the other part. But it's got to be an honest vote. And everybody knows. Just go back again. Look at Iowa. Look what happened. Just take a look at that. They still don't know who won. They didn't know weeks later. Remember, New Hampshire went. New Hampshire declared a winner. And essentially, they don't know what happened in Iowa. Except the difference is we're doing the same thing, but with tens of millions of ballots. This is a disaster waiting to happen, and they shouldn't let this system go. If you ask for a ballot, it's called solicited. You solicit. You want the ballot. It comes in. You sign it. You send it back. That's okay. But where they send millions and millions of unsolicited ballots, people get ballots they didn't even know they were getting them. Sign it. Sign it. Then there are people going around getting it to sign. You know, when you have that, you don't need it. We have much more enthusiasm. We're so high up on enthusiasm, right? But it's very unfair, because when you have somebody go knock on your door, sign, it's called harvesting. They're going to harvest ballots, even though in some cases, in most cases, it's illegal. It's illegal as hell, and it should be illegal. So this is a disaster waiting to happen, and the only hope we have, really, other than going through a long, unbelievable litigation at the end after it's over, because we're going to win. We're not going to lose this except if they cheat. That's the way I look at it. But we can't let them cheat. We can't let them. It's too much. Our country is at stake, and that's true. Our country is at stake because these people will destroy our country. We can't let this happen. And this is a scam. They know it. The media knows it, but the media doesn't want to cover it. They know exactly what's going to happen, and so do I. But the Democrats know better than all of us what's going to happen. So we can't let it, and if you see anything, you just have to report it and everything. We're all watching. Law enforcement's watching all over the place, but it's very hard to watch. You know, millions of ballots, very hard to watch. And it's the only way that's the only way we're going to lose is if there's mischief, and it'll have to be on a big scale. So be careful. And we do want a very friendly transition, but we don't want to be cheated and be stupid and say, oh, let's transit. We'll go and we'll do a transition. And we know that there were thousands and thousands of ballots that made the difference through cheating. We're not going to stand for it. We're not going to stand for it. So just remember, keep your eyes open. For decades, our opponents spent trillions of dollars rebuilding other countries. And now we're finally rebuilding our country. We invested $2.5 trillion in the U.S. military, all made in the USA. We launched the first new branch of the armed forces. Think of that. Since the Air Force 75 years ago, it's called Space Force. It's a big deal. See, that alone would be a big deal for, honestly, that alone would be a very big deal for a administration. We did, think of it, we now have a sixth branch of the United States Armed Forces. That's a big deal. But we did so much more, so much more. I mean, think of it, it's incredible. You know, we did probably the most. We'll have maybe even more than 300 federal judges, including Court of Appeals. And now we're going to have 3 Supreme Court judges. Their minds are blowing. Their minds. You know, you've had many presidents, never had 1 Supreme Court judge. We're going to have 3. Of all people, and that's a record, of all people, to get 3 Supreme Court justices in one administration, in one term, they are going crazy. They're saying, darling, tell me this is not happening. But you'll see it tomorrow at 5 o'clock. With the help of the incredible workers of Newport News and Norfolk Naval Shipyard, we will build 355. We're going to have a Navy again of 355 ships. That's what we need. That's been depleted. And they're already being built. We've got a few big ones, beauties being built, including aircraft carriers. Biden will slash military funding and shipbuilding will be shut down. It's going to be shut down like it used to be. We killed the founder and leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi. We took out the world's #1 terrorist and mass murderer, Soleimani. I withdrew from last administration's disastrous Iran nuclear catastrophe. What a deal that was. $150 billion, $1.8 billion in cash. You ever see what $1.8 billion in cash? It's plane loads. These guys over there, they must have said, what the hell is this? They never saw money like that. We paid it. You know what we got for it? Nothing. Nothing. I kept my promise, recognized the true capital of Israel, and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. I also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. They've been working on that for 52 years. I got it done quickly. And instead of endless wars, we are forging peace in the Middle East. We even got nominated, right? You know what for? That's right. I hate to talk about it, but I have to because the press doesn't talk about it. No, that was a great honor. It was a great honor. Twice, you know that, right? Twice. The press doesn't talk about it. The Nobel Peace Prize, right? Two for different things. For Kosovo and Serbia, we stopped them from killing each other. It was very nice. And they don't have to kill each other. They've been killing each other for a long time. Kosovo, Serbia, it was great. It was great. And we got a nomination for Israel. And you look at Bahrain, UAE. That's just the beginning. We have them lined up that want to go into that. Well, peace in the Middle East without blood all over the sand. And I told you, you heard the story. I went home, I said, First Lady, I'm going to get the greatest stories tonight. I just got nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, First Lady. For Israel, everybody said it couldn't be done. And they were right. It couldn't be done the way they were doing it. You would have never gotten it done. The way John Kerry was doing it, you would have never gotten it done. As a guy doesn't have a clue, incompetent. But you know what? I said, First Lady, wait till you see this. It's going to be unbelievable. And we watched Lester Holt. I don't even know why. And we had one story after another after another. And after 7 stories, I said, First Lady, this is getting a little embarrassing. And they never mentioned it, nor did any other of the newscasts. Fake CNN didn't mention it. MSDNC didn't mention it. ABC, CBS, nobody mentioned it. So I was very embarrassed. 3 days later, I got nominated. And I said, my great First Lady, we got another shot at it, darling. Let's watch the news tonight. 1 story, 2 stories, 3 stories, 4 stories, 5 stories. We got to the end, it wasn't mentioned again. And when Barack Hussein Obama was nominated, it was... And he didn't know what he got it for. He still doesn't. He doesn't know what he got it for. So we have a little double standard going, but that's okay. As long as we know. Sometimes I'll be talking that way, and I'll look around, I'll say, oh, I'm in the Oval Office. How did that happen? I said, you know, with all the complaining, we're in the Oval Office and they're not, right? And if you don't mind, let's keep it that way so we can keep this going. We've achieved more in 47 months than Joe Biden has achieved in 47 years. It's true. Biden, without even knowing it, is pushing the most far-left platform in history. The Biden plan would destroy Social Security and destroy protection for people with pre-existing conditions. He would terminate our travel bans in jihadist regions. You know, I got the travel ban. Remember, everyone said you couldn't do that. I want a travel ban from people that want to blow up our country. Do you think that's okay? People said, oh, we don't like that. Took a little heat and we got it. They said I didn't get it and they were right. We lost at one court, lost at the second, then we won in the Supreme Court. They don't say that. But we have a strong travel ban. And we will use it. We do use it. We use it plenty. And increase refugee admissions. They want to increase refugee admissions 700%, opening the floodgates for radical Islamic terrorism. They want to ban school choice in charter schools. In the second term, I will provide school choice to every parent in America. Every parent. A vote for Republicans is a vote for safe communities, great jobs, and a limitless future for all Americans. It's so true. And in conclusion, I love you people, but I've been doing this since early in the morning. I'm getting the hell out of here. I would only do this for Virginia. I got a guy, he stays in his damn basement all day long, and I'm doing this. I don't know. If he wins, I'm going to be very embarrassed. I'll say, gee, I worked so hard, and he didn't work at all. No, we're going to win. I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win big. I think we're going to win bigger than anyone understands. I think there's a vote out there. There's a hidden vote out there. The pollsters are fake. They're controlled by the same people that write the bad stories, the fake stories. Over the next 4 years, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world. And we will end our reliance on China once and for all. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement, and we will ban deadly sanctuary cities. Ban them. We will uphold religious liberty, free speech, and the right to keep and bear arms, Virginia. We will strike down terrorists who threaten our citizens, and we will keep America out of the ridiculous, horrible, endless foreign wars, countries that you've never even heard of. You will keep you out of them. And by the way, we have weapons the likes of which nobody has ever seen before. We have a level of a degree of which nobody from Russia to China to North Korea, nobody's ever seen what we built. And just hope to God we never have to use them, but we have never had anything like the arsenal that we've built over the last 3 years. Hope to God we never have to use them. We're the envy of the world in that way. We have the greatest people for building. There's nobody can do what we can do. There's nobody. But when I came in, your military was totally depleted. You had old planes. You had old everything. We have now the F-35s, and we have things, the bombers, the new bombers, the tankers, the ships that we're building, some right here, Newport News. You know? But we have built an arsenal the likes of which the world has never seen. And you know what? That will make it a lot easier for us not to have to use them. That's really what we need. We needed it. We were in bad shape. We were in bad shape. We will maintain America's unrivaled military might, and we will ensure peace through strength. And that's what we've done. We will end surprise medical billing, require price transparency, and further reduce health insurance. You know, the health insurance is a disaster, and we are bringing the price of health insurance way down, premiums and costs of prescription drugs. We're instituting favored nations We pay the highest in the world for drugs. I negotiated with Big Pharma, and I just got tired of negotiating. I said, I'm sorry. We're instituting favored nations. We're the largest purchaser of prescription drugs by far in the world. And I instituted what we call a favored nations clause, where we will pay the same price as the nation that pays the lowest price in the world. In addition to that, I instituted a rebate clause where we get the rebates instead of the middlemen. These are the richest people. I don't know who the hell they are, but the middlemen they're very rich, and they're not liking me too much. And you're going to see a lot of bad ads from Big Pharma. They've already started. Just remember, every time you see one of those ads, that means your drug prices are coming way down. And I mean by 50, 60, 70, and 80%. We'll strongly protect Medicare and Social Security. We will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. Always, always. America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars. It'll happen quickly. And we've taken NASA from fairways, you have to see, they had fairways along like a golf course. It was a better golf course than it was a runway. And what we've done, we've taken all the grass out. It was grass growing right through the cracks. It was a disgrace. And we've now made it the #1 space center in the world by far again. You got to see this. They were playing golf. They were playing golf. It was all closed up, or essentially closed up. It was actually worse than closed up. You know what? It was sort of open, but nobody was doing anything. They had nothing to do. We had the greatest scientists in the world, and we're letting rich guys send up rockets. We like it. Somehow rich people like to send rockets up. We say, just pay us a nice rent and have a lot of fun sending your rockets up. But NASA's now #1 in the world again by far, and there's no contest. And all that grass is gone. We will stop the radical indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education to our schools. We will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. Are you listening, NFL? Are you listening, NFL? And we will live by the timeless words of our national motto, in God we trust. For years you had a president who apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America and standing up for the great people of Virginia and North Carolina. So get your friends, get your family, get your neighbors, get your co-workers, and get out and vote. There's never been a more important election than this election. Early voting has already begun. Do not wait. Go out and vote. From Richmond to Roanoke, from Fredericksburg to Williamsburg, and from Norfolk to right here in Newport News. We stand on the shoulders of Virginia patriots who gave their blood, sweat, and tears for this beloved nation. Virginia is the place that gave us George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe. Now, you know, I signed a little document, 10 years in prison if you knock down a statue or a monument. It's amazing how you haven't seen any of that lately. They were having a little fun, and now they were heading toward the Jefferson Memorial. I said, wait a minute. And I predicted that. They were knocking down statues. A lot of people didn't know exactly which one. I said, you better stop it. Because the next thing you know, they'll knock down the statue of Robert E. Lee, and they did. I said, you better stop it, or they'll be going after Thomas Jefferson and Washington and Abe Lincoln. And they started. And I said, what are we going to do here? I have some good people. They said, you know, because today in Congress, you can't get anything done. They'd give you one day in a very nice hotel. So I said, what are we going to do? They said, we'll take out an old we'll take out an old law and you can reinstitute it with an executive order. I said, what does it say? 10 years in prison, not jail. They use the word prison. I said, for what? You knock down a monument or a statue, you go to jail for 10 years. I said, give me that thing, get it to my office immediately. And I signed it. And they were coming down to Washington. They were going to knock down 2 particular statues that were really beautiful. And I signed it, and we announced it, had a news conference, got to let people know about it, right? And the 20,000 person march turned out to be about 3 people. And 2 of them were arrested, actually, because we have, thanks to the fake news, we have a lot of footage of people standing on the statue of Jackson, Andrew Jackson. Remember, they almost had the ropes. We sent in the police. The police did a great job, by the way. Remember that? The ropes, they were ready to pull it down. And we said, charge. And they charged. And I want to tell you, they did a hell of a job. They were much tougher than the people with the ropes. It took them about 2 minutes, and that was the end of the ropes. But it was close. They got there just in time. But you know what? Since I signed that, there's been no statues, no monuments that have been played with. Right? Federal. States have to do the same thing for their states. Virginia heroes made America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world, and the best is yet to come. Proud citizens like you helped build this country, and together we are taking back our country. We are returning power to you, the American people. With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on working, we are going to keep on fighting, and we are going to keep on winning. We're going to win. We're one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together with the incredible people of Virginia and North Carolina, we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Virginia. Thank you. Get out and vote. Thank you.
President Donald Trump wrapping up remarks in Newport News, Virginia. Virginia, a state that was thought to be lost a short time ago. I don't think so anymore. There is a lot of enthusiasm, as you can see by this huge crowd here in Virginia. I think the enthusiasm right now for President Trump is on a greater scale than even it was in 2016. And I have witnessed every single campaign rally since 2015. And I'm telling you, there's something happening. There is something happening, and I think that these polls, you ought to not pay any attention to these polls, folks, because I think the president, if this is a fair election, he wins 40 states or more. I really do believe that. I don't think there's any enthusiasm on the other side. I think fair-minded folks, fair-minded people are going to vote for the president, because even Democrats who are fair-minded, who love America, I think they're going to end up voting for President Trump. I really do. This is just another campaign stop for us. We're headed to Pennsylvania tomorrow. We'll be in Middletown, Pennsylvania. Those of you in the Harrisburg area, come out and see us. We'll try to do some interviews tomorrow on the ground. That broadcast will start at about 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have President Trump's Supreme Court announcement tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Time from the Rose Garden in the White House, so tune in for that. Make sure that you bookmark it. Right Side Broadcasting, rsbnetwork.com, or here on our YouTube channel. Subscribe if you're not already. We are at every single Trump campaign event. We are a small media company from Auburn, Alabama. We've been doing this since 2015, showing you what the mainstream media wants so that you can make up your own mind. Media today, they tell you everything, what to think and what to wear and what to eat. We don't do that. We just show you the facts. We show you the full context of what is being said and let you decide for yourself. That's what separates us. We're usually live for 3, 4, 5 hours from Trump campaign events. We show you what's on the ground, give you the experience of being at one without actually being there. That's our job. That's what we do. That's why we exist. We ask for your support. at rsbnetwork.com/donate. That's how you can help us get to every single event. We're viewer supported, so we're not funded by anybody. We're not funded by rich folks. We're just out here doing this because we love our country. We're citizens. We're proud citizens. We want to see America succeed, and we want 4 more years of President Trump. So if you want to help us out, rsbnetwork.com/donate. We love our viewers. We thank you so much for everything you do. I'm going to send it back to Newport News now. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you for all the folks out there for helping us break a record tonight. 119,000 viewers watching. We almost got to 120. But hey, let's shoot for that tomorrow night. What do you say? All right, back to Virginia now, to Liz, Zoe, and Grace.
Everyone, and welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. I was one of your hostesses this evening. My name is Liz Willis. Thank you all for tuning in. We cannot believe it. We actually beat our all-time highest record for congruent viewers on YouTube, so we're very thankful. The energy for President Trump was electric here tonight, and we're going to see a lot more of that considering we'll be in Pennsylvania tomorrow night for another Keep America Great rally. Thank you for everyone that's tuned in today for the donations. There are a number of ways you can still donate. The first one is by clicking that $sign in the bottom right-hand corner of the YouTube Super Chat. The second way is by going to our website. That's www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. The third way is by sending a check. This is the non-electronic way, so you can send a check to 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. We want to say thank you to our partners today over at iTarget Pro. That's the letter I, targetpro.com, for being an incredible partner and providing a really cool app and a laser bullet that allows people to train from the comfort and safety of their own home with their own firearms. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you check that out. We mentioned it a lot earlier in the broadcast. Don't forget, you can use code SAFE10 at checkout for percentage off and free shipping. Zoe, Grace, an incredible rally here tonight. Really high viewership. What do you think it was about the state of Virginia that caused it to be so big today? I mean, we haven't seen these high numbers since Vegas. I'm going to step away, but I'm going to hand it to you.
Sure. Yes, I really think it was the high energy of this rally and the fact that President Trump has not been to Virginia since 2016. So I think that has a lot to do with it. He's back. He's closing the gap here. I believe in 2016, he only lost by 6 percentage points. That's only 200,000 votes. And right now, currently, they only have Biden up by 5 points. So Trump is closing that gap. And I think we're going to see a big Trump win here. So what do you think?
Thank you, Grace. Yes, you're exactly right. So prayerfully in the next couple of days and going into the election, we'll see the turnout. We'll see that silent majority step out and do their part, going down to the polls and getting those votes in for our president to get him reelected. Like we said, and everybody else has been chanting tonight, 4 more years of him executing these visions that is to make America great again. Exactly. So I'm really excited to hear, possibly maybe even tomorrow, he will be in Middletown, Pennsylvania at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He will be speaking, but he just announced today at the event in Atlanta that he is rolling out a plan which is called the Platinum Plan that will help benefit the Black community. So I'm really excited to hear about that. All of the great things that he reiterated today about what he's done since his period in office. So of course, like I said, 4 more years. But everything tonight has been amazing. Of course, he's never failed to never fails to succeed our expectations, and I'm really happy to be here, and I'm ready to be on the road for tomorrow. We have to get up quite early, actually, 4:30 a.m. exactly. I'm sure we have to get up probably a little bit earlier, actually, but we have to head on the road. So you guys send your prayers, send everything as far as questions, comments. I've been responding to a lot of you guys here on the side during his speech, but I really enjoy seeing those things. It's really encouraging for us both, for really all of us, and of course donating, showing your support. But so as far as tonight, I guess we're going to be rolling out here soon, and yes. Oh, yeah. Where can people find me? I was mentioning too. Just wanted to kind of get in conversation with some of the people because we didn't really get to speak to a lot of people prior to the rally and trying to get prepared and set up. But for you all, where you all can find me and follow me is on my Facebook account. It's going to be under facebook.com/Zosobe, ZOSOBE. Also on Instagram, it's Zosobe as well, ZOSOBE. You all go ahead, give me a follow, send me a message. I love, like I said, seeing all the encouraging messages and seeing all the support from you guys is really, really encouraging. And even with our new addition, Grace, I'm sure she is loving all the love that you guys are giving to her as well. And this being your, second time?
Second campaign rally with Right Side Broadcasting.
Exactly. She's doing a great job. So, Grace, do you have anything else for everybody?
Yes. So I'm going to read off some email donations we got. So from Bill and Carol Reichert, I am so sorry if I didn't say that last name right. God bless America and President Trump. Okay. And from Budimir Zvolanek, RSBN all the way to victory. MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. Elect the great one, President Trump. We agree 100%. From Chuck and Abby Morrison, thank God we have you to fight our fight. Stay safe and let's keep on winning, winning, winning. Hashtag MAGA. That's my favorite Trump speech, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Winning. We're going to keep winning. You're going to get tired of winning. Okay. Exactly. From Diane, thanks for keeping us informed. Your work is much appreciated. Thank you for watching. From Pam Swick.
That's
Swick?
That's different.
Okay. Great job. Real news. Thank you. From Robert Lent. Thank you for being the only company that does it right. Right Side Broadcasting. That's right. From Leslie Hall. Been right all along. From Cynthia Mulheron. God bless you, President Trump. 4 more years. Trump 2020. Woohoo! From Libertyville Greg. President Trump sorry, I butchered that. President Trump, keep making America great. Thank you, sir. Thank you, President Trump. From Helga Iarapoli. We love you, President Trump. Promises made, promises kept. Thank you. From Edith Bolton. Trump Pence 2020. From R.L. Ross. Great job. God bless you. I'm going to try to get as many of these as I can. So I'm going to keep going for all the shout outs. We didn't get very many earlier, so gotta get them in now. Thank you, Joy Neisinger. From Max Stradamus, God save 45. From Andre Maltais, let's turn it all red, Trump 2020. From Eva Marie Hicks, God bless Donald Trump and God bless the USA. Pro-life. We talked a lot about pro-life tonight, so we love that message. All right. From Eric Phillips, 4 more years. I love this one. From Butler Holmes, Todd, Tangi, Talia, and Tayden for Trump. Ooh, I'm going to end with this one. From Mark Reyes, where is Hunter? Where is Hunter, Zoe? Where is Hunter? He's gotten in a lot of trouble this week. Without going into too many details, maybe we can talk about that tomorrow. But where's Hunter? We don't know. But yeah, so tune in tomorrow for Harrisburg, Pennsylvania at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Thank you, Grace. Yes, of course, looking at all the comments again, thank you guys so much for the support, and thank you so much for your comments. And again, we want to see you guys tomorrow. We want to see the same enthusiasm on your side and supporting us, tuning in, sharing it with your friends, but of course, supporting our president. Liz, anything else?
No, just make sure that you are following us. I'm sure you ladies already covered it. RSB Network, Instagram, Twitter, like this stream, big thumbs up. Always interact with us. We'd love to see it. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as well, Liz Willis. You guys give your handles.
I'll do mine.
You already did yours?
I did not do mine.
Oh, okay. The moment you've been waiting for.
Hi, guys. No, my name is Grace Saldana. You can find me on Twitter, Parler, Facebook, and Instagram at Grace Saldana, GraceSaldanaa.
All right, and if you guys heard that, that is actually our president taking off, and hopefully, prayerfully, he gets the rest that he needs to be prepared and ready to go again tomorrow. So again, thank you guys for tuning in tonight and watching us and supporting us. We look forward to see you all tomorrow.
want to thank you for such a great job tonight in Virginia. See you tomorrow in Pennsylvania. One request that I would ask everyone out there. Please keep the crew in your prayers. These young men and women are working very hard, tirelessly. I'm not able to pay them as much as I would like. They're working very hard to make sure that we have 4 more years of President Trump. They are, just because they're young, it's very difficult to keep up with President Trump on the campaign trail. It is tough. They're driving 4.5 hours tonight to get to Pennsylvania. We fly as much as we can, but it gets tough out there. It's tough for me sitting in the studio here to keep up with it all. So please keep us all in your prayers as we go through a really crazy 5.5 weeks to November 3rd. We need you. We appreciate you, and we hope that you enjoy tonight's rally, and we hope you enjoy everything that we are able to bring you between now and November 3rd. God bless you all. Have a great Friday night. We'll see you back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, from the Rose Garden of the White House.